Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire.
Alfredo Simon will get the ball tonight for the Tigers, making his 6th start of the season. Alfredo rolls into the ballgame tonight with a record of 4-1, an ERA of 3.13, and he will make his first ever start against the Chicago White Sox. Nice night for baseball here tonight in the Windy City. Welcome to Chicago. It is Game 2 in the series featuring the Tigers and the White Sox. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemble alongside Jack Morris. Glad to have you with us here for Game 2 of the series. Tigers need to bounce back tonight, Jack. They had a tough time against the Marlins last night. If they want a chance at winning the series, need to win tonight.
And the whole road trip depends on winning this series to come home above 500. They played well in Minnesota. They split in Kansas City. They still have a chance to win this series. It's an important win, and they've got a tough mound opponent tonight in Chris Sale.
Yeah, they do. Now, Chris Sale was really hammered in his last start. Really, we have never seen Chris Sale bounced around like that, but against the Tigers earlier this year, pretty good numbers for Chris Sale.
Yeah, he had a very good game against the Tigers early. His last start, the shortest start of his career, barring weather, and I expect him to bounce back. He's one of the game's best. He can be very, very tough. The Tigers are going to have to be on top of their game tonight.
All right, now we'll bring you to the Bernstein advantage. The pitcher-batter matchup in this one, as good as Chris Sale is, Victor Martinez has really had the Bernstein advantage against Chris Sale.
You know, every pitcher has a hitter, and every hitter has a pitcher. And for Victor Martinez, that pitcher may be Chris Sale. You see the numbers there, they're pretty gaudy. He has really owned Chris Sale. Mostly, if you look at some of these highlights, it's because of the pitches he's getting to hit. They're all over the middle of the plate, and he's putting good swings on it. Maybe that can continue and get Victor back on track.
All right, Victor Martinez in the cleanup slot again tonight for the Detroit Tigers, hoping to bust out of that slump tonight against Chris Sale. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Coliseum Studios. Check in with Matt Shepard. Coming up in this one tonight, though, one of the bats the Tigers will have to control, the guy in the middle of the lineup for the White Sox, Jose Abreu, off to another powerful start. Tigers Sox, Game 2, next. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. When it's time, come to Comerica. Chrysler, come discover great deals during the Chrysler Drive and Discover event. And by Oscar Mayer Beef Hot Dogs, it's grown-up food. Back here in Chicago as we get you ready for baseball here tonight. The Tigers and the Chicago White Sox, game 2 in the series from U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago. The Tigers starting lineup tonight looks like this. It is presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Change at the top. Rajai Davis will get the start with the left-hander on the mound tonight. He'll play center field. Kinsler at second, Cabrera's at first. Your middle three is Martinez, Cespedes, and J.D. Martinez. J.D. bumped down to 6 tonight. Castellanos, McCann, and Iglesias round out the starting 9 for Detroit, and they are facing the left-handed offerings of Chris Sale.
See the numbers for Chris Sale this year. He's making his 5th start, and he's coming off one of the toughest starts he's had in his career against Minnesota, where he gave up a career-high 9 runs, 9 hits over 3 innings. That was the shortest start he's made. Let's take a look at the White Sox starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Outfield remains the same. Cabrera, Eaton, and Garcia in the outfield. Gillespie, Alexi Ramirez, Micah Johnson, and Jose Abreu around the infield. Tyler Flowers is back behind the plate for his starting pitcher tonight, Chris Sale.
And we are ready for baseball here this evening. A nice night for baseball here. It's supposed to be gorgeous again tomorrow as well. The Tigers trying to bounce back. And Rajai Davis will start things off for Detroit. Davis only 1 for 13 on the road trip, but he's pitched or hit well against left-handed pitching this year, over 300, so he is in the leadoff slot. Sale, the lanky left-hander, set to go to work. Tigers check in tonight at 17-10. Chicago at 9-14. First pitch is low and in to Rajai Davis. We are underway tonight. Davis this year with 1 home run. He's knocked in 5. Rajai shoots 1 foul back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Rajai got an at-bat, a final out of last night's game, hitting the line drive right down the right field line, but Jose Abreu made a nice catch to end the game.
That would have made it interesting had that ball gotten by Abreu and gotten to the corner. Here's the 1-1. It's low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Davis, by and large, has had to find his opportunities when he can get them. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Waiting on deck is Ian Kinsler. Davis swings and lines it to right field, and that's going to get by and over the head of Avisail Garcia. Rajai on his way to second, thinking 3. Here he comes to third base. The throw, the tag. He is safe at third. What a way to start it. A leadoff triple for Rajai Davis.
Avi Garcia did not really recognize that ball off the bat. It gets over his head, and then Rajai deciding to turn it on. Luckily, the ball did not hit the first cutoff man from Garcia and ended up going to Alexi Ramirez, and that little bit of hesitation allowed Rajai to get that extra step to third base, sliding under the tag.
Yeah, and he just got in there under the tag. The leadoff triple for the Tigers. That'll bring up Kinsler now with a golden RBI opportunity here. A couple of hits in last night's ball game. There's a strike called on Kinsler.
Kinsler got a hit his first at bat with Anthony Ghost on third. Similar situation to start off last night's game.
Tigers took the early lead last night, could not hold on though, as Kinsler takes low and in. Already Chris Sale coming out, throwing 97 with a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ian has knocked in 12 this year. Bouncing ball foul, almost hit Davis in foul territory. Rajai leads it off with a triple. Still huffing and puffing.
Look out. Ball's a dead ball if it does hit him in foul territory.
Now the 1-2 outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Kinsler.
Chris Sale already an indication he's flying open a little bit, and ball's sailing up and away. And a couple of these pitches, he's just got to kind of calm himself down a little bit. He's really throwing hard early.
Missed it low, and the count now is 3-2 on Kinsler. Second 3-ball count now that Sale has gone to. There's Cabrera waiting on deck. 3-2 is swung on and missed. There's 97 from Sale. He threw it right by him.
It's gas right there. Got a short window to catch up to that one.
Here are the field conditions tonight, presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. It's 61 at game time. Partly cloudy here tonight. Not much of a breeze, but much more pleasant, I think, than it was last night.
A little less humid. That fog was hanging in here pretty good last night.
It made it kind of soupy, didn't it? Here's Cabrera. And Miggy looks at the ball outside, and boy, Sale is high octane early in the first inning in this one. U.S. Cellular Field is the site for this 3-game series. And Miggy waves and misses.
Change up right there, about 13 miles an hour slower than that fastball. But you're right, Mario. He is coming out throwing fire, and he did that for 6 innings against Detroit in Comerica earlier this year. It was a sight to behold. He was throwing hard.
That one at 98, and Cabrera goes ahead in the count 2-1. Sale giving up 9 runs in his last start, and really the worst start he's had. The 9 runs, a career high. Missed it away. Another 3-ball count here now for Sale. That's 3 in a row. Here are the numbers. 8 of the 9 runs were earned in just 3 innings in a loss to the Minnesota Twins. 3-1 is high, ball 4. That'll put runners at first and third.
I witnessed that game, and to see Chris Sale going through what he did, I call it a Murphy's Law day, and every pitcher has one or two in his career. Everything that possibly could go wrong for him did. They hit the ball hard, they hit the ball soft, they found holes, they made errors, and it was an ugly day for Chris Sale.
And they scored 9 runs. Well, Victor, following a Cabrera walk, is .306 this year. Career much better than that. We'll see how Victor is able to do here. Do you think there were any designs there on perhaps pitching around Cabrera in that spot?
I've got to believe that Chris Sale is very aware of the numbers that Victor has off of him, and he's looking on the on-deck circle, and he sees Cespedes over there, and I'm not sure there's a whole lot of better option.
Yeah.
Both guys can leave the yard.
Martinez, however, though, the only thought is that perhaps not 100%. And that one bouncing in. But you're right, the numbers against Victor are not very good for Sale. I brought those up at the top of the show. Look at these.
Yeah, that's incredible numbers against one guy. And you got to remember, this is all right-handed from Victor, and that's his strength this year. He's been able to push off his back right leg more than his back left leg when he hits left-handed.
Victor was 0 for 4 in last night's ball game, and he looks at the strike. 1-1 on Martinez. Sale is 6'6", 180. Was born in Lakeland. Went to high school, Lakeland High School there, where the Tigers train. And on the outer edge is strike 1 and 2.
You always wonder, how does a guy slip through when he's right there in spring training? I'm sure Tiger scouts were looking at him. I mean, he was looked at by a lot of teams because of his ability.
There's a bouncer that is foul outside of the bat. Well, I guess you can't get them all, I suppose.
And it's hard to predict when they're in high school what they're going to develop into. Here you see a kid that at the time he probably weighed 160. And first thing that comes to mind is, well, will he be durable enough? Well, that's one thing you cannot say badly about Chris Sale. He has been durable at this point in his career. He did start the year on the DL because of a broken foot, but that has nothing to do with the way he throws a baseball.
Martinez skies this one in the air to right field. Garcia backing up. Davis will tag up. Avi makes the catch, and that'll score the run as Rajai Davis comes in. RBI for Victor Martinez. RBI number 10 now for Victor. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Yoenis Cespedes. So the Tigers tonight, like they did last night, get a first inning run. Cespedes was 0 for 3 last night, did have a base on balls, batting .301. And despite last night, by and large, has had a really good road trip this year for the 10-gamer the Tigers are on. Their longest road trip this season, Cespedes, with 10 hits on this trip. The 0-1 is shot toward the shortstop and backhanded there by Alexei Ramirez. So the Tigers 7 for 1 will go to the bottom of the first in Chicago. Presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
See the record for Alfredo this year. Started out 4-0, lost his last decision. He's making his 6th start of the year, and like Chris Sale, he'd like to get back on track in the win column here tonight.
Here is the starting lineup you will face tonight, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Eaton, Cabrera, Abreu at the top. You've got LaRoche, Garcia, Gillespie in the middle, and bottom 3 of Alexei Ramirez, Tyler Flowers, and Micah Johnson. Cabrera's been a hot hitter for them. Here is Eaton leading it off, and he looks at a strike. Adam Eaton batting .195.
If the White Sox are going to start getting back into the hunt here, this guy right here needs to start heating up. Adam Eaton, big part of their offense last year, just having a slow start.
Like most offenses, I think it starts to the top, and Eaton just has not been able to get it going. He signed a big contract in the offseason. Has not homered, has not driven in a run to this point this year. Simon ready with the 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Adam Eaton. Alfredo coming off a start in which he gave up 6 runs, the most that he has given up in any start this season for Detroit. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Eaton, 1 gone.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Bill Fox Chevrolet. In the outfield, Cespedes. Rajai Davis takes over in center field tonight. J.D. Martinez in right. Nick Castellanos. Jose Iglesias back at shortstop. Ian Kinsler at second. And Miguel Cabrera over at first base. McCann will catch instead of Alex Avila. And The big pasta's on the mound tonight for the Tigers.
Yes, he is. Throwing to McCann, who has showed off a really good throwing arm this year. He's done nicely behind the dish for the Tigers. In his rookie season, won the job in spring camp over Brian Holiday. Melky Cabrera, the batter. He'll shoot one in the air down the left field line, slicing away from Cespedes to the corner and back out of play. Yoenis, a sliding attempt. How you liking that nickname, Big Pasta? I think it's pretty good. I like it.
I'm a little hesitant to say it because I haven't talked to him about it yet. And I want to make sure he's okay with it because he's bigger than me.
I got to be honest, I haven't talked to him either about it, but I'm going with it.
You know, I hear his teammates calling him that, and they talked about him that way, so I figured it must be okay.
It's all right. Cabrera batting .281, and he sends that one on the ground foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Alfredo does have a variety of pitches, and when he was going good early, a lot like Samardzija last night, he was not hitting the middle of the plate. Everything was around the perimeter of the strike zone. He'll throw the kitchen sink up there. He's got about 7 pitches.
You ask Jeff Jones, what does he throw? And all of a sudden, Jonesy starts rattling off a litany of pitches.
That's exactly what happened. I went up to Jonesy the first time I saw him pitch, and he goes, well, he's got a slider, a cutter, a fastball, a changeup, a sinker, a fork ball.
And you're thinking to yourself, I should have brought my pencil.
I said, how about strike one? He said, usually.
3 balls, 2 strikes. The number 2 hitter, Melky Cabrera. Walked a couple of times in last night's game, trying to set it up there for Abreu waiting on deck.
Lost the fastball in.
And he lost in ball 4. First base runner of the game now for Chicago. 3rd walk of the series for Cabrera. Here's Abreu, the centerpiece of the Chicago offense.
And those numbers are a little less than what we've come to expect from Abreu. Phenomenal first year in the big leagues last year. When it's all said and done and the smoke clears, I suspect those numbers will be considerably higher than they are right now.
I believe you are correct in that. Of course, the pace that he established last year was a very healthy one. 36 home runs last year for Abreu. And here you go, his rookie ranks.
Wow. First in every one of those.
There's ball 1 outside, which always brings us to the argument of whether or not guys like Abreu or Ichiro or guys that have played in a different country professionally for 10 or so years and come to the States, should they be eligible for the Rookie of the Year award? They are brand new.
I see no reason not to. It shouldn't be an age deal. It should be about their first time around.
Drill to left field. Cespedes. Whoa, what happened there? Man, oh man, that was scary looking.
Well, obviously that was a ball in the light. Cespedes shooting over to his left, doesn't realize how hard that ball was hit. Let's take a look at it right now. Ball's crushed to left field. And Cespedes, it looked to me like he lost it in the lights and then found it coming out again. Lucky to get got his glove up there.
Yeah, if memory serves, Yoenis also lost one in the lights in Kansas City but made the play. But that can be awfully scary, especially as hard as that ball was hit. So with 2 outs, here is Adam LaRoche, batting only .205. They'll employ the shift against LaRoche. Ball 1 inside. Here's how they play against him defensively. Tigers elect to pull their 3rd baseman over to the other side of the infield and leave the shortstop where he is.
You see Nick way over here. He's almost on the right field line. Typically the shift is more in the hole, but they've got him really shaded to pull.
1 ball, 1 strike. LaRoche 0 for 2 last night. Picked up a couple of walks in their Game 1 win in this series. Simon's 1-1. 2-1 the count. White Sox do have a little bit of power in the middle of their lineup. We talked about Abreu hitting third, LaRoche. Well, he's been a 25-homer guy several times in his career. And then you got Avi Garcia, who is still developing his power. Melky Cabrera, the runner at first with 2 outs. And he draws the throw. LaRoche, 10 RBIs this year. He's been battling it, though. Just 178 in his average over his last 13 games. The 2-1. Good pickup by McCann. 3 balls, 1 strike.
When you look at the White Sox record on the recent road trip, you can understand the fact that they didn't win a lot of ball games because a lot of their hitters just are really struggling right now. LaRoche is one of them.
Yeah, as a ball club, they really are scuffling with the bats. They're averaging a little over 3 runs per game this year. And he missed again, and that's going to be another walk. 2 on, 2 outs. Let's check in now with Justin White. He's got an update on Justin Verlander.
Yeah, Mario. Earlier today, JB was given the clearance to resume throwing. This afternoon, that's exactly what Justin Verlander did. Made about 50 throws here in the outfield, and Brad Ausmus said he felt good afterward. Now, the Tigers manager also cautioned that this was just a first step, and Verlander will not be throwing off a mound for a while. So, cautious optimism, but still no timetable for Justin Verlander's return to the mound for the Tigers, Mario.
All right, Justin, thank you. Well, I guess that's a positive step forward, Jack, to at least allow him to start throwing the baseball.
You got to take it that way. I know he's anxious to get back into the swing of things.
Here's Garcia now with 2 men on. Ball 1 low. And that's going to bring McCann out to the mound.
Back to this White Sox lineup. There's a couple alarming stats that kind of lead you to believe of why they're having some of their problems. The home runs way down. Take a look right there. The longest drought since July and through August of 1989 with just 9 home runs.
Wow.
That's down. And then they only have, I think, 4 stolen bases. And this is a team with guys that can run. Eaton and Johnson.
Strike called, 1-1. Well, the home run drought right now stands at 9 games, as you just saw. Their longest homer drought since 1989. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers on Garcia. Garcia has been one of their better hitters. Had a 9-game hitting streak snapped in last night's game. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Garcia 1 homer this year, 7 RBIs. They say his power still developing. In spring training, they worked quite a bit on hitting the ball back up the middle, hitting the ball the other way. And I think Garcia, when he came up with the Tigers, showed that he could do that. But as he gets older and grows in the game, the pull power is soon going to come. Did he go? Did not. Down at first base. Manny Gonzalez said he held up.
Avi, one of the few White Sox hitters that had a good road trip. He had a 9-game hit streak going.
Right. And his physical tools really are impressive. I mean, his size, he can run, has an outstanding throwing arm. Now Simon will step off. Of course, the Tigers got Jose Iglesias in that 3-team deal that involved Avi Garcia. Now McCann out there, not on the same page with Alfredo Simon.
Now the pace for Simon's a little bit lethargic here tonight. He's walked 2 guys already. He needs to pick up that signal from the catcher and throw it in the strike zone. Be aggressive. Got a 1-run lead.
That'll fill the count now. 3-2 on Garcia. the White Sox here with 2 men out, 2 men on will have the advantage of starting the runners. Connor Gillespie waiting on deck.
The 23rd pitch already this bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, and the reason for that is already 3 3-ball counts. And again, Simon stepping off. You got Cabrera at second, LaRoche at first.
A lot of times a pitcher will step off because after further review they realize the pitch that they just gave them is not the one they want to throw. I don't think Melky Cabrera is any threat to steal. They just don't want him to get him too big a jump.
Runners go, and it's grounded foul. So Garcia stays alive. One of the things that Simon has been able to do really well this year is his handle right-handers. They're batting just 125 against Alfredo. Lefty is a much different story, though. They're over 300. Here are those splits.
Those are numbers that can concern your pitching coach and your manager. And obviously, everybody wants you to have similar numbers against righties and lefties. All I can say is he's probably got a better sinker down and into the right-handers that they swing over. The left-handers are able to stay on a little bit better. They're still having trouble between McCann and Simon.
It has not been smooth. Oh, we just got a piece of it to stay alive. So they'll crank it up again. Should Garcia reach, Gillespie would be next. He is a left-handed batter, so Alfredo wants to shut this inning down right away. He's got himself a 1-0 lead. Tigers scored a run on a triple by Davis and a sac fly by Martinez. Meanwhile, Garcia is about to work his 8th pitch in this at-bat. High fly ball, shallow right field. J.D. Martinez coming in toward the line to retire the side. No runs, a couple of walks, and we'll go to the second. 1-0 Detroit. To stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select our Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by the 2 for $5 Classic Quarter Pounder with Cheese. Well, Chris Sale goes back to work, gave up a triple and a sac fly in the first inning. J.D. Martinez, got to get him going, Jack. I mean, he's been through a rough stretch right now. In fact, the strikeouts are piling up, and J.D. right now is 0 for his last 18.
Well, JD's classic inside out, shoot it to right kind of guy. Likes the ball out over the plate.
Behind the count now 0-2. The Martinez batting average down to 231. Brad Ausmus deciding to bump him a little bit down in the lineup. He is down to 6th, with Cespedes moved up to 5th. Swing and a miss, and Sale strikes him out. It'll be his second strikeout of the game, and that'll bring up Castellanos.
Sale can get guys to start swinging at this pitch. It's going to be a tough night for the Tigers. Slider that just really bites at the very end. You can see how far JD missed that ball.
That'll bring up Castellanos. They go for 4 in the opener last night. 217 batting average this year. Fouled away 0-1.
That's the one he'd like to have back. That was a slider that stayed right over the heart of the plate. Outer half.
It's a strike call.
Whoa.
Castellanos thinking, where was that?
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one to hit. And Chris Sale gets this pitch. It's going to be a tougher night. Change up. And man, that's a good one for a pitcher.
And down he goes. Third strikeout for Sale, who has now thrown 12 straight strikes. 2 up, 2 down for James McCann.
Chris Sale, he gets on a roll. He can add up some strikeouts.
That he can. He's a guy that has rolled up a lot of them in his career.
He struck out 12+ batters, franchise record 10 times.
So far this year, his season high is 8. He did that against Minnesota, his first start of the season. Sale, as we mentioned, started the year on the disabled list. Fractured foot. Suffered that in late February. Wave and a miss. 0-2. McCann batting .257. Highlighted his trip and really highlighted his season so far. The inside the park home run that he hit in Minnesota, his first big league homer. Shoot that one to left, an 0-2 base hit.
He got a little bit better location on the fastball that was 1 or 2 mile an hour slower. Sale blew him away, up and away. No way is he going to catch up with that previous pitch, but this one, too much of the plate, and a good swing by James McCann.
We'll bring up Jose Iglesias, who had the night off last night, but he's back in there. Iglesias had a groin problem in that last game against the Kansas City Royals. Had the team day off Monday and then took the day off yesterday. Back in there tonight. Not quite as damp here this evening, so Iglesias back out there. That's it for a strike. 0-2.
That's something that managers have been doing as long as this game's been going on. The guy gets a little banged up and you have an off day, you give him a day before or after, and that makes 2 days, and that usually helps that injury.
It's in the air to right field where Garcia is waiting, and that is that. Chris Sale now is throwing 18 straight strikes. Still, Tigers lead 1-0. MGM Grand Detroit brings you the scouting report on Alfredo Simon and his usage of the split finger pitch. And look at this, 31% this year, which is the highest in the major leagues.
Now, one out of almost every 3 pitches he throws is that split finger.
Connor Gillespie will start things off. That's a pitch that you know a little bit about.
And I was looking at that stat and trying to figure out in my best years what percentage might I have thrown. It's probably in that area, maybe even a little higher than that.
A little higher than 31, yeah. 32.
But I threw it on purpose sometimes, down in the zone, bounced it, seeing if I could get a hitter to chase.
Gillespie, Ramirez, and Flowers here in the second for Chicago. That's the ball low, and the count goes 2-0. When were you first approached about throwing that split finger pitch?
I think it was 1983, just working in side piece out in Oakland. Milt Wilcox, my teammate, who had played with Bruce Sutter as a member of the Cubs, learned the split finger, called it a forkball.
Real deep to right field. That ball has a chance, and that ball's going to go. Home run for Connor Gillespie, his first of the year, and it cleared the fence with no trouble in right.
Well, he started him out with a changeup, and as Gillespie touches home plate, we'll take another look at that pitch. That one usually gets hit pretty hard right down Broadway.
Well, Gillespie had a triple in last night's ball game to drive in 2. He is homered for the first time here tonight to tie the game to 1, and that brings up Alexei Ramirez. Ooh, inside, spins him out of there. So the home run drought is over. It ends in 9 games for the Chicago White Sox. Ramirez batting .198. Hitless in last night's opener. Oh, look out, up and in again. Ramirez drops the bat. Now he's going to look out at Simon. That is back-to-back up and in.
Well, that's certainly not in purpose. Balls are getting away a little bit from Alfredo, and looks a lot worse than it actually was. Alexei getting out of the way plenty of time. But that's easy to say when a ball whacks you in the jaw.
Yeah,
no
doubt.
It's scary. It's a scary thing for both sides, the pitcher and the hitter. And I don't believe in throwing the ball up and in there. You don't have to.
That is hit a mile high, right up on the infield, into the smoke from the fireworks of the home run. That's the first out of the inning. Well, the Tigers face the Royals this Sunday night at 8:05. It's Sunday Kids Day and Mother's Day. All kids 14 and under and the first 10,000 moms receive a free Mother's Day tumbler. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. 1 out now for Tyler Flowers. Flowers batting .217. Back behind the dish tonight. Anyway, you were talking about the splitter. You were talking about Milt Wilcox.
Yeah, Milty just showed me how Sutter threw it. I was working in the bullpen one day, and I tried about 15, 20 pitches that he showed me his grip.
That's hit to right field and playable for Martinez. 2 gone.
And every one of those pitches did absolutely nothing. And I'm about ready to quit on it, saying, well, it's just not for me. I don't know how he can throw it that way. And he said, move your thumb on the side of the ball and do the same thing. And I threw about 2 pitches, and the second one just exploded straight down.
Okay.
And I started giggling. I mean, it was like somebody had just given me the key to a candy store when I was a kid. And I knew right there and then with one pitch that this is something I wanted to play with.
Here's Micah Johnson. Ball missing outside.
It was a time, Mario, where the rest of the league, the American League, we didn't have one guy throwing it in the whole league. Sutter was one of the few guys. Him and Mike Scott were 2 guys that threw in the National League.
So it's not like the cutter that everybody throws now, or different pitches.
Well, and baseball went through a phase, you know, a few years later where everybody was throwing the split finger, and then history will show that a lot of injuries became, for the guys that threw that pitch a lot, they got, you know, a lot of elbow injuries. So a lot of organizations have frowned on it since.
Johnson looks at a ball inside, 2-1.
It's a pitch that, first of all, you have to have big fingers. You have to have long fingers to be able to spread your fingers wide enough to get around the outside of the baseball. And you have to have very good mechanics. Your hands got to be above the ball, and you have to work hard to keep your arms strong.
Line fair to left field. That'll bounce around off the wall. Cespedes gets it quickly. He'll fire it into second, but a little bit late, and it's a 2-out double for Micah Johnson.
You can see the speed of Micah Johnson there. Cespedes did a good job of fielding the ricochet on this, but see the swing. Micah Johnson just getting his hands on top and off to the races. Watch Cespedes here doing a good job of playing this ricochet off the wall. Pops right up into his throwing arm, but here's Johnson standing on the bag. He can run.
Thought that play was going to be a whole lot closer than it ended up being. So the White Sox now a chance to grab the lead here as Adam Eaton strolls in. He'll get a chance to get that first RBI of the year. We were talking about this a little bit last night, Jack. I know it's he's a leadoff guy. And obviously, he's not in the middle of the lineup where you get the majority of the RBI chances. But this is May now, and typically you'll have at least a few.
He's had opportunities, just like right here. But Adam Eaton has really struggled with the bat in his hand.
Doubled in the ball game last night, finishing 1 for 4. Eaton has done good work in his career against the Tigers. He came in .333 versus Detroit pitching. And he got back in the lineup last night after missing 3 games with that virus that was going through the White Sox clubhouse. The 2-0.
Good pitch right there. Changeup that's down and away. You're in a fastball count right there. Eaton was sitting on that fastball. 40th pitch already for Alfredo Simon.
Swing and a miss. Even the count now, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Like a pitcher, you can sometimes tell when a hitter's out of his groove. When you see a guy just, to my opinion, he was just guessing that pitch. And he was committed to swinging about the time the ball left his hand. Otherwise, you're going to see the ball a lot better on that ball in the dirt. Obviously, it's a whole lot easier up here than it ever was on the field. But you see things sometimes that you don't see when you're out there.
So the count goes full now, 3-2 as Simon again falls behind another hitter. Waiting on deck is Melky Cabrera. I mentioned how Simon's splits show lefties hitting over 300 against him. Righties really struggle. Well, the home run, a lefty, Gillespie, the double, a lefty, Micah Johnson.
Walking Melky Cabrera. And Adam LaRoche, the other lefty. There's 5 lefties in the lineup tonight for Chicago.
Lifted to center field. Davis on the move. He'll get there to retire the side. Hit it hard, but that is out number 3. The White Sox tied on the home run. You're watching Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
game, the first inning. Rajai Davis, the first hitter, lines over Avisail Garcia's head, and he's running. Gets triple, like in last night's game. First run is scored. Tigers are on the board early.
Chris Sale goes back to work in a 1-1 ball game now. On our way to the top of the third, where it's Rajai Davis. Rajai takes the ball high. He tripled to start the ball game, then eventually scored the Tigers' only run, as we just showed you. Here's the 1-1 pitch. The bouncer hits slowly left side. Gillespie throws him out. One gone. How about our T-Mobile game changer now that Ian Kinsler is coming to the plate? This probably is not going to surprise you, but in wins this year, Kinsler batting .361, in losses just $1.47. Big part of the Tigers' offense when Kinsler is cruising along. That usually means good things for Detroit.
It does. It's a stat that you probably could do that with almost every hitter.
No doubt.
You know, when they're hitting well, the team usually is winning more.
I do know this. The Tigers are 17-0 this year when they win.
Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike on Kinsler. Ian struck out in the first inning. And Sale so far in this game with 3 strikeouts. Bouncer right back to the mound. Easy play for Sale. 2 gone.
It already appears that Chris Sale is starting to fall into that groove. Throwing a lot more strikes, a little erratic early in the game. And now finding that rhythm that all pitchers seem to find as the second, third inning come around.
Well, he struck out 2 in the second. He's got a couple of quick ground ball outs here in the third, but now here is Cabrera. He walked Miguel his first time up and misses outside 1-0. Sale last year was 3rd in the Cy Young voting. Corey Kluber won it. Felix Hernandez was 2nd. And Sale usually is among the top in that category, that award. In fact, he's had 3 top 6 finishes. Now the 1-2. Fouled away. Victor Martinez on deck. Checked it. They will appeal. Did not go. Miggy's sitting on 396 home runs right now, 4 shy of that next plateau of 400. Full count, 3-2.
Well, Miggy looking at the umpire and asking for a little extra time there. I don't know what happened on that particular take, but umpire granting him that. Plate umpire Jim Reynolds.
Like something was going on with his right hip. 3-2 is fouled back.
All I know is you better get it ready. At 96, you don't have a lot of time.
Flowers dropping down the signs. Here comes another fastball. Outside with it. Miguel Cabrera is going to get his 2nd walk. Well, Menards brings you the big money encounter. It happened last September between these two. Victor Martinez hit by a pitch, and you might remember Chris Sale pointing to the outfield saying, "You've got someone with binoculars out there." And then Kinsler doubles and says, "I got binoculars right here."
Justin White did a cute little piece on that. And Chris Sale's last start in Detroit.
Yeah.
And I especially liked his Clouseau coat. I think that's something that he should sport more often.
I think he probably will.
Very, very investigative look.
No balls, 1 strike on Martinez. He did look the part, didn't he?
Especially with the sunglasses.
Yeah. Here's the 0-1. Victor swings, and it's going to go to the backstop. Didn't make contact with it. Meanwhile, Cabrera taking a wide turn, but he's going to go back to second. It's a wild pitch.
Well, that puts Miguel into scoring position. Maybe Victor can get a hit here and pick up an RBI.
This was awkward.
Yeah, he misses that slider right there by a good 2 feet.
It was so awkward that it appeared he actually fouled the ball off, but that's not what Jim Reynolds, home plate umpire, said. I don't believe the replay showed that he hit it anyway. So Miguel goes to second base. Oh, 2 count on Victor Martinez. And he just got a piece of that one rolling and foul.
Chris Sale sticking with that slider down and in.
Martinez had a sacrifice fly. That was back in the first inning, and that got the first run of tonight's ball game in. White Sox then tie it up on the Gillespie homer in the second. Driven in the air to left field. Backing up Cabrera. Tracked. Wall is going to carry out and gone. An 0-2 home run for Victor Martinez. And the Tigers have grabbed the lead. His dominance over Chris Sale continues.
And it shows the importance of location. Victor was absolutely eaten up on 2 sliders down and in. And Sale tried to sneak the fastball away that got too much of the plate. And that's exactly why Victor has owned Chris Sale. It's because of mistake pitches. Look at that ball. It's actually almost middle of the plate. But a great swing for Victor. Look at that arm extension. That makes contact out in front of the plate.
Victor appeared to be savoring that one over the bases. Here's a strike on Yoenis Cespedes. Victor hits his first home run of the season, and it gives the Tigers a 3-1 lead. Cespedes backs away, 1 ball, 1 strike. That, by the way, is only the second home run ever allowed by Sale on an 0-2 pitch. He got Victor to swing and miss badly on one of those sliders. But in the end, Victor won that battle. 3-1 Detroit. And Victor has all 3 RBIs. High fly ball right field. Javi Garcia coming under it. That'll take care of the side. Tigers grab the lead, though, on the Victor long ball. First of the year, it's 3-1 Detroit. Reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Well, Cabrera's base on balls with 2 outs. Kept the inning going, and Victor drilled a 2-run shot to give Simon the lead now. And Alfredo goes back to work. Melky Cabrera, Jose Abreu, Adam LaRoche, 2, 3, and 4 in Robin Ventura's lineup.
Simon needs a shutdown inning here. His pitch count at 44 through 2. He needs to get a quick inning, attack that strike zone. He's got a 2-run lead now.
Well, here's a telling stat early in this one: 2 for 11 in first pitch strikes for Simon.
That makes that hitter so much better.
1-1 on Cabrera, who walked in his only at bat. He signed as a free agent in December, 3-year deal. A really good year last year with the Toronto Blue Jays. Lifted toward left field, sinking. Cespedes again on the run. 1 out, time for a game break. Let's go to the studio, Mickey York. Thank you very much, Mick. Here it is, 3-1 in favor of the Tigers. There's a strike call.
Last year's Cy Young Award winner, Corey Kluber, pitching, I believe, in that game.
No, I thought it was. I told you that before the game, but I was wrong. It's Carrasco today.
Oh, that's right.
And Danny Duffy. Still a pretty good arm.
They've got a good rotation, too.
They do, and that's why their start is a little bit surprising this year. Still have to score runs, though, right?
They do, and you can't let it get too far out of hand either. They're standing right now in last place in the Central, 7.5 games behind Kansas City.
Here's the 1-1. Rolled foul. 1-2 on Abreu. Here's what you're talking about, Jack. That breakdown is not all that good.
No more. Well, first pitch strikes, I think, is an important stat. It shows pitcher who's in control of that at bat. But 50 pitches, he's halfway to shower time.
Line back up the middle into center field. Base hit. 1 out single for Jose Abreu. Adam LaRoche will step in.
So like the Tigers, the Chicago White Sox have had runners on base in every inning so far.
LaRoche had a walk in his only at bat. And all the outs that Simon has recorded in this game pretty much have been flyouts. He has 1 strikeout. Shift on for LaRoche.
Now this time they got Castellanos playing in on the dirt. And that's a shift you don't see all the time. Most of the time that third baseman or shortstop, when they shift over, is back on the grass playing a little deeper. The runner on first base, Abreu. I don't know what the purpose of this is, but I guess to get the double play.
Yeah, it would keep the double play in order. Although if that ball is hit to Castellanos, that would be an awkward throw for him. But that's what the shift provides, awkwardness. 1 ball, 1 strike on Adam LaRoche. Each ball club now with 3 hits. Missed outside, 2-1. Simon's body language indicates he did not like that last call. Alfredo won his first 4 starts as a Tiger. And that had not been done since 1978 when Kip Young did it. There's a strike call, 2-2. But that last start was a bumpy one, and Alfredo trying to bounce back, gave up the 6 runs in 4 1/3 against KC. Javi Garcia waiting on deck. Popped him up. Long run for Iglesias, but that's going to drop harmlessly on the track.
And because of the shift, that gives LaRoche another chance at this at bat. That ball typically would be in the back pocket of a third baseman. But with Iglesias playing way over in his normal shortstop position, third baseman Castellanos playing in the hole at second base, that ball, like you mentioned, just harmlessly drops and will reload.
2-2 on LaRoche. LaRoche this year has had to get used to the designated hitter coming over to the American League from the National League, and not only that, but he's got Abreu ahead of him at first base. So Adam has gotten a majority of the reps at DH as he takes way outside.
So I got to ask you, Mario, is that something that the sabermeticians will keep track of, and some kind of chart that missed opportunity for an out there because the shift was employed?
It's a great question. I was thinking the same thing. We know, and they have some numbers that can tell you how many outs the shift has saved or has made, but how many have they lost? Because that clearly was, as you mentioned, the easy out. 3-2. Pull to right field. Foul.
And of course, the same can be said without the shift, all right? That's why they put the shift on. The tendency is that this guy pulls the ball. Let's move him over and see if we can prevent that base hit. And I guess the managers play the odds of a little cat and mouse game.
Yeah, and that's all it is. I think it's the numbers. It's tendencies. Here are the hits by direction for LaRoche.
And you can see majority of those either center field or right field. So Brad has got his infielders played around to the right side.
McCann a couple of times tonight has already had to go out to the mound and talk with Simon. They have not been on the page or the same page all that often tonight. Runner holding on 3-2, and it's drilled foul down the left field line.
When we talk about pace of game and all that stuff, the hitters staying in the batter's box and the pitcher has so many seconds to deliver the ball. But this is one of those games that, because of the rhythm that Simon is showing, infielders are standing around a lot, outfielders standing. This is not a crisp game where he's pounding the strike zone, falling behind a lot of hitters. 3-2 counts, a couple walks in the game already.
High fly ball, left center field, hit pretty well. Davis on the run, Cespedes on the run, Yoenis in front of the wall. Runner will tag but put on the brakes. Abreu will hold at first base. LaRoche made a bid to left center field but fell short. Hey, Saturday Major League Baseball on Fox Sports 1 returns with a doubleheader of divisional rivalries, beginning with the Royals taking on the Tigers. The Braves square off against the Nationals. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern on your home for baseball every Saturday. Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. To your point about the pace of this game, 5 3-ball counts now already for Simon, which has slowed it considerably. Garcia swings and misses.
Well, my point, Mario, is not only the fact that his pitch count's way up there at 61 pitches here in the 2 outs in the third inning, but it's just the time in between pitches too that he's pushing that limit. And I guess they've had a review at MLB that we're not going to get fined now. They're just going to reprimand them a little bit, give them a little warning.
That missed outside. Yeah, I always thought that fine thing might be a little bit too heavy-handed, especially with such a major change to the game.
And what they've discovered through the month of April is that they're happy with the changes, that there is a little bit of a noticeable difference in the pace of game. This one in particular, not so much. 2
balls, 1 strike on Garcia. Tigers take a 2-run lead on the home run by Victor Martinez off Chris Sale. But 63 pitches now for Alfredo Simon. Garcia flying to right field. That closed out the first inning. Way outside. Snap throw to first. Good pick up there. Attempted tag by Miggy. So McCann's showing he's not afraid. Throw behind the runner.
He picked that ball cleanly. That ball's in the dirt. Could have got by McCann. Not only did he surprise Abreu, but he surprised Miggy.
Sure looked like it. Meanwhile, it's another 3-ball count here for Simon. 3-1. And that's ball 4. Single and a walk in this inning.
And that's going to bring out pitching coach Jeff Jones. I've often wondered, if I were a pitching coach in these situations, what would I say?
What would Roger Craig say to you?
Well, you know, I know the job of a pitching coach is to try to get him to focus and figure out what he's doing wrong, throw strikes, all those things. And that's your typical statement from your pitching coach when he comes out there. He's doing what he can to help you, but sometimes a little humor can work magic. And I'm not sure what that humor would be.
How did you react to humor on the mound?
I actually enjoyed it because it was stressful enough, and quite honestly, I remember so many times telling Roger, you don't have to come to the mound, because you never come to the mound when I was pitching well and say I was pitching well. You only come out there when I stink, and I already know I stink because you're coming out to the mound.
Can you imagine Roger Craig walking out and you got 7 shutout innings going?
Yeah, way to go, Jack.
Good job,
Keep it
Jack.
up.
2 on for the White Sox now, and here's Connor Gillespie. Here's ball 1.
Maybe I'll do some investigative reporting and find out what Jonesy had to say there.
That would be good. We look forward to it. Meanwhile, Simon continues to struggle with those first pitch strikes. Gillespie hit a homer back in the second. There's another one that missed. 2-0.
Simon just struggling here with his command. Falling behind another hitter.
4 of 15 first pitch strikes for Simon, who has not walked more than 2 in any of his starts this year, or hadn't coming in, but he has 3 tonight. Now Gillespie waiting on a 2-0. Here it is. Take a swing at it and foul it straight back. Gillespie's home run back in the second inning was his first of the season. Had a couple of hits, a couple of RBIs in the ball game last night. They're hoping that he will start to perk up as well. Had a decent year last year offensively. Maybe not the type of power numbers you want out of a third baseman. McCann has to go down and block that one. Now it's 3-1.
Let's take a look at Big Boy's big play of the game back in the second inning. It was Connor Gillespie getting a changeup that was left over the inside upper half of the plate, and he hit it hard. Home run for Gillespie, his first of the year. That tied the game at the time.
Well, Simon now has faced 15 batters in this game. 7 of them have gone to a 3-ball count, which has driven his pitch count up to, well, number 70 is coming. And he walked another.
Well, there's currently no activity in the Tiger bullpen. If you look at yesterday's game, Brad Ausmus had to stretch out Alex Wilson a little bit. He threw 3 1/3 innings. Blaine Hardy came in, pitched. Nesbitt pitched. So you wonder what direction he might go if he needs to get some activity going in this one.
And it appears that's the case right now. The phone call has been made to the Tigers bullpen. Here are the numbers by inning. 27 right now here in the third. It's going to bring up Alexei Ramirez. And there is the action. It's Nesbitt warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Taking strike one. I always wonder, Jack, what is the threshold for a pitcher in terms of when you start throwing a lot of pitches in the inning? I know it's probably different for each guy, but when do you start to fatigue? Is it 30? Is it 35? Is it 25?
I think that's an individual thing, really. The whole idea of the pitch count is to get pitchers to be more efficient with their pitches and not throw as many balls. Try to get quick outs. That's the whole concept behind it.
This one's going to get by McCann, and that'll score a run. Abreu comes in standing up. All three runners move up, and it's 3-2. Wild pitch.
You can see this is a slider that he just overthrows, gets his hand way on top and just yanks it. And McCann really doing what he could. He shifts over, but he never got his body squared up to the ball, and it ricochets towards the Tiger dugout, allowing Abreu to score.
Second and third with 2 outs, 1 ball, 1 strike on Alexei Ramirez. Tiger lead cut to 1 now, 3-2. Fouled away.
I think the more that you gain knowledge at the big league level as a pitcher, the more you get frustrated with these types of ball games. You know, it's one thing to get hit hard and get beat up. You just sort of tip your hat and say, you know what, it wasn't my day. But when you feel like you could do so much better with your command and you're giving up the free passes, it's hard to go through the next 4 days as a starter knowing that it was kind of on you.
And Simon with 4 walks in this ball game tonight.
And I can see Simon. He's just trying to think his way. That's why he's taking so much time to get that sign from McCann. He's just trying to figure out, what can I throw here to miss a bat and throw a strike.
Chopper back to the mound. Simon will flip it to first. That'll end the inning. The White Sox get a run, though, in the wild pitch. 3 in the books here in Chicago.
Right there, Rajai Davis gets started with a triple. He eventually comes in to score. Then home runs. Connor Gillespie gets the home run to lead off the second inning for the White Sox. Victor Martinez, after a walk by Miggy, he gets his home run, and at that point it was 3-2. Brewers scores on a couple of walks and a wild pitch in the bottom of the third. That makes it 3-2 right now.
So it'll be J.D. Martinez as we go to the top of the fourth. Chris Sale back out there. Sale facing Martinez, Castellanos, and McCann. It's kind of a chilly night here at the ballpark. I mean, it was a nice afternoon, a little chill in the air tonight, and Sale has sat down for a couple of long innings. He'll miss high and away.
And Chris has always pitched sleeveless. A lot of pitchers just don't like wearing those long sleeves. He's one of them. So in this cool air, it's important to get that coat on and maybe some heat in your shoulder or elbow in between innings. Stay loose somehow.
JD struck out in the second. Castellanos on deck. 3-1 is outside, ball four. Sale walks the leadoff man.
That's Sale's third walk of the game. So I've seen 7 base on balls so far in this game.
Now Castellanos, also a strikeout victim, his only time up. 3 runs on 3 hits for the Tigers, and the White Sox 2 runs on 3 hits. Castellanos 5 hits on this road trip for the Tigers. And he looks at a ball outside. We were mentioning this a little bit earlier in the broadcast, Jack, about the durability of Chris Sale. That was one of the issues that some teams had in drafting him. They wanted to pass because of concerns about his durability. And they've talked about his delivery to the plate and what they call the inverted W, which sometimes leads to arm injuries. Explain that a little bit. It says basically where both elbows come above the shoulders.
Right. And I guess it's one of those deals where a lot of pitchers are taught to pitch to a T, and it's halfway in between your delivery when the ball is back. You can see how his elbows kind of come up and his hands drop below his elbows. He's got the T, but his hands are down. Well, there's some thought into, if your hands are above your elbows, you're going to have less torque on your arm when you get through your delivery. And it's a lot easier to show you in person than try to explain it with a monitor. But there are some great pitchers that threw that way. I think it can maybe add a little stress to that shoulder area.
There's a strike called. I know Steven Strasburg is another one of those guys. Brandon McCarthy. Joel Amaya, the former Tiger, used to pitch with as they call the inverted W, where the elbows come above the shoulders. Sale is one of those guys.
Sale's kind of a 3/4 guy, almost sidearm, quite honestly. And it's, you know, it's very minimal that you can see it. You'll see it right about there. And already his front arm, his lead arm, is almost straight up. But it's the back arm, the throwing arm, that you're more concerned with.
3-1 is skied in the air toward right center. Eaton and Garcia. It's Garcia. 1 out. Well, you also mentioned that it's true. I mean, really, the only time he's been on the disabled list was this year with a fractured foot, which has nothing to do with, you know, his delivery. But he has been pretty durable so far in the big leagues.
He really has, and you got to consider the fact that he's a max effort guy. When you're throwing 95-mile-an-hour fastballs, and that would be at least 50% of your pitches, that's a lot of stress on an arm. And yet he's able to toe the rubber every 5th day as a starter. He's been able to do that for a few years now here in Chicago.
Here's James McCann.
He really is one of the White Sox team leaders. Abreu has stepped in nicely as a go-to guy, but Chris Sale, in a short period of time, has kind of become the face of their franchise, I would say.
McCann McCann had a base hit in his last at bat on an 0-2 pitch. In fact, both Martinez and McCann have had 0-2 hits. The one by Victor traveled over the wall, a 2-run homer. The 0-1, he is showing bunt and drops it foul. The old element of surprise, but he couldn't put it into fair territory. Here's the high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity on Chris Sale.
You can see he's touched 98. That's getting it up there. And that changeup of his is as low as 76. So that's quite a difference. Over 20 miles an hour between the two. They always say change eye levels, change speeds, depth perception. And it's the guys, in my opinion, the real pitchers are able to take a little bit off each pitch. Add, subtract off of every pitch.
And he got him strike 3. McCann pumped looking not convinced that was a strike.
That ball circled the plate, and that's McCann's probably going to talk to him about when he's got the gear on. It looked like that ball came around the backside of the plate and never touched anything white or black.
Oh my goodness. That wasn't close. So McCann simply walks back to the bench and hopes he can get a call or two like that.
Forced strikeout for Sale.
Here's Iglesias. Strike 1.
Those kind of pitches make it tough on the Tiger offense. I mean, it's hard enough to hit off of a guy like Sale when he's on, and then you get the umpire expanding the zone like that. That's going to be a tough night.
It goes from 84 to 94 on consecutive pitches, and it's 0-2.
You got to protect the plate. You're swinging out of the zone. That ball up and away, out of the zone. Iglesias just doing what he can to take a hack.
Right to the first baseman, sharply to Abreu, who makes the play. 3 unassisted, ending the inning. No runs, a leadoff walk. We go to the bottom of the 4th. As we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and Jose Abreu showing he can play a little bit of defense as well.
Yeah, if you're Adam LaRoche, you got a gold glove under your belt and you wonder what's going on. Well, this is what's going on. Abreu's done a pretty darn good job over there in his short tenure for the White Sox. Robin Iglesias right there getting in front of the ball. Number 1, knocking it down, picking it up, and getting over there.
And that first one was the replay of the hit or the ball that Davis hit last night, but 2 outs in the 9th. Had it gone to the corner, that makes it a little bit more of an interesting game. Abreu flagged it down and into the ball. Tyler Flowers starting things off here. Flowers, Micah Johnson, Adam Eaton facing Alfredo Simon, who is in search of a snappy 4th inning. He's thrown 75 already in this game. The 0-1. Flowers 0 for 1 with a fly ball, and now mired in a 3 for 27 skid.
We talked about Adam Eaton having that bug that was going around the White Sox. Well, Tyler Flowers got it too. He missed the last 2 games in Minnesota with the off day, and last night's game he had 4 off days.
You know, it's amazing to me, Jack, with all of the traveling that these guys do and all of the different clubhouses confined in like hotels and clubhouses, and that they don't get sick more than they actually do.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing.
But once it starts in a clubhouse, it has a tendency to kind of run from guy to guy. Here's the 1-2. Giovanni Soto started the ball game last night, and now Flowers tonight. Micah Johnson waiting on deck. 2 more to go on this road trip for the Tigers tonight and tomorrow. There's a chopper to third. Easy hop there for Castellanos. 1 gone.
Important to get that first out right there for Alfredo Simon. He's been scuffling with his pitch control tonight. His 79th pitch right there gets the first out of the inning, the leadoff hitter.
Tigers bullpen will definitely be a factor at some point tonight. The high pitch count for Alfredo. Here's Micah Johnson. Sliced a double down the left field line his last time up. Castellanos in on the grass because of the speed, but he can't do anything about that. A rocket right back up the middle, and 2 for 2 tonight for Johnson.
Johnson having himself a pretty good night. Hit the ball hard twice now. Pulls this one up the middle. The ball's down a little bit more than it was his first at bat, and he's able to hit it right past the glove there of Alfredo Simon.
Eaton tonight is a strikeout and a fly ball, 0 for 2.
Let's see if maybe Robin Ventura tries to send Johnson here, try to get something going for his ball club. Like we mentioned earlier, the White Sox only 4 stolen bases on the year. I think that's last in the American League.
Yeah, it is, and they're also last in runs scored. Runner goes, and a bouncing ball, base hit right field. Johnson didn't pick it up. Now he's going to have to hustle to third, and he's in there standing up.
Well, he finally picked up his third base coach, Joe McEwen. And McEwen's waving him. He's looking for the ball at second base, just standing there. Kind of in a pickle there because he's going on the pitch. See, Eaton just hitting it into a vacant second base. And he finally picks up his third base coach, who's waving him over to third.
Tying run at third, go ahead run at first. Only 1 out, and Melky Cabrera coming up. Part of the order is lurking for Chicago. How about Melky this year? 438 with men in scoring position. He's got a walk and a fly ball in this one tonight. White Sox have picked up their 5th hit. High fly ball, left field. Cespedes lining it up. Johnson tagging up. They're going to try and score him. Here comes the throw. Not in time as Micah Johnson dives in with the game's tying run. Cespedes' throw bounced in several times.
It would have taken an absolutely perfect throw from a rocket of an outfielder to get Johnson, who runs very, very well. You kind of wonder if you concede that run and throw it to second base, keep Adam Eaton over at first base.
Yeah, now the go-ahead run in scoring position. For a guy that's pretty good at driving in runs, Jose Abreu. Abreu hit the ball hard right at the left fielder his first time up, then singled and scored on a wild pitch in the third. 3-3 ball game. Called inside, 1-0.
That last play there brings up a point that I want to mention. The philosophies between different managers and the timing of these plays during the game. I guarantee you Sparky Anderson would have been a stickler for throwing the ball to second base right there, conceding that run and trying to prevent that go-ahead run to get to second base. Now with the game on the line, late innings, you got to try for it.
Now they get back into the seats.
But you got their best hitter at the plate right now with a runner in scoring position. A base hit will score him, where it's going to take a double or a gapper of some sort to score him from first base.
And especially when you factor in the speed of the runner at third base, Micah Johnson. He can really fly. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sox have been very aggressive in swinging the bat here in the 4th inning. Simon's 1-1. In the air, center field. Rajay Davis moves over. There's no damage done, other than the 1 run on the sac fly by Cabrera. All tied at 3. Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Meyer, save big with M-Perks from Meyer. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. Back here in Chicago, nighttime settling in. 3-3 is our score. The White Sox have tied it up with single runs in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings. And that ball is shot down the left field line. It is a fair ball. To the corner it goes. Rajay Davis having himself a nice night. Pulls in with his 2nd extra base hit of the evening. Rajay not afraid of Chris Sale. He came in with good numbers against Sale.
Now you can't place it any better than this. Ball's kind of just curling towards the left field foul line, and he stays fair. Rajay's speed easily lets him get to second base.
8 for 18 now, career against Sale for Davis.
Putting on a sliding mitten there.
We call it the oven mitt.
The oven? Yeah. It's only for guys that are a little bit hot at the plate, huh?
Yeah, as Kinsler stands in.
He's been wearing that for quite some time, even in his days with Oakland. I think he started it. He did it with the Blue Jays for a while. He doesn't want to jam those fingers sliding head first.
Kinsler takes his swing and fouls it straight back. Into the ballgame, ground out strikeout.
We should have given a pair of those to Chet Lemon when he was up at the plate, because he loved to dive into first even though he's out by 30 feet.
That's right, not second.
And I don't know
first.
how many times he jammed his wrist or fingers or something.
They didn't have all the fancy technology that they have these days. I mean,
no.
The guys didn't wear the armor back then, did they?
No, there was no targets. That's what I like to call them, the elbow pads, the knee pads.
A target for a guy like you?
Why don't they just paint them red and white with circles on them?
1 ball, 1 strike on Kinsler. Inside, back him on.
Now you got to understand, Mario, that if I was a hitter, I would take that a little serious. But I can joke at it. I can admit that I never hit a guy on purpose.
Ever?
That I missed. I never missed a guy on purpose.
Here's the 2-1.
In either case, this game's all knotted up, and it would be a good opportunity for Ian Kinsler here to pick up an RBI. Rajay runs well.
Davis came into this game with 3 extra base hits. He's got 2 tonight.
Hitters count right here, 3 balls and 1 strike, so you can sit on the pitch you want. I imagine it'll be a fastball.
And it was, but it missed high and away. That'll put 2 men on. It's going to be the 4th walk of the game for Sale.
Yeah, Sale's been fighting his command a little bit. He's throwing the ball very hard tonight, but he's been flying open a little bit. Ball's been sailing up and away. You can see the pitch total for him, 50 strikes, 30 balls.
Well, he's got a situation to deal with now because here comes Cabrera. Then you got Victor Martinez. Miggy has walked a couple of times in this game. Ball 1. Two of the 4 walks tonight for Sale have come against Cabrera. He's got a chance to put his team back in the lead with nobody out. 3-3 game in the 5th inning. Inside. Cabrera has to buckle out of the way. Chris Sale's career high in walks is 5. He did that last June in Toronto. Flowers now will pay him a visit. Came in 3rd in the American League with 17 walks, so give him 2 more tonight as he climbs that list. Not thinking about walking here. Waiting on a 2-0. Strike call, 2-1.
You're all over the place, and then you throw one that might be questionable off the plate, down and away, and you get the call. That's pretty good. Jim Reynolds has been very generous with Chris Sale tonight.
Three and 1 the count. Cabrera there a little bit demonstrative as the catcher Flowers came up looking like he was going to throw.
And there's the 4th pitch. Both of them, 3rd and 4th pitch. Off the plate, according to Fox Tracks.
8 3-ball counts tonight for Sale. Drilled to center field. That's going to drop. Base hit. Davis coming around 3rd. They'll send him home. Eaton's throw is cut off. Throw to 3rd. Not in time. RBI single for Miguel Cabrera.
Now we'll see this pitch again from Chris Sale. Miguel Cabrera picking up a big RBI for Detroit right here. And that's probably the worst pitch of that whole sequence. And Miguel didn't miss that. That's what makes great hitters great hitters. Is they can swing out of the zone and they get a mistake pitch and they just don't miss it.
20th RBI of the season for Miguel Cabrera.
Let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch, and this is Victor Martinez's second at bat of the game back in the top of the third inning. Chris Sale pitching to him, throws him a slider in the dirt, and another one that Victor somehow fouls away, and then leaves one belt high outer half, and Victor just goes out and hooks it, gets his first home run of the year, and at that point put Detroit up 3-1.
Let's update the numbers. Career for Martinez against Sale is up to 485 now with 4 home runs. And now Victor is up there with runners at first and third. Still nobody out in the inning. All started with a double by Davis. Bouncer right back to the mound. They'll throw to second one, and they'll get a double play. Well, that thing took forever to develop, but still with lack of speed by Martinez.
Yeah, that ball hit off the plate, a very high chopper back to the mound. But Chris Sale, knowing that Victor just having a tough time running at all, was able to get the lead runner, Miguel Cabrera, who doesn't run all that well. Look at how long it took to get down, but yet nobody's moving. Micah Johnson flips it over to Abreu.
So Kinsler remains at third with 2 outs. Here's Yoenis Cespedes. And Sale trying to limit the damage here. And double play ball came in handy.
Oh boy, if he can get out of this inning, he's got to feel like he kind of escaped a little trouble.
Cespedes 0 for 2. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yoenis hit a ball sharply right to the shortstop his first time up. There is action now. Jake Petrichka warming up in the bullpen for Chicago. Sale about to throw his 90th pitch of the evening with Kinsler at third. Here's the 2-1. Each team with 5 hits in this game. The Tigers have taken the lead. Here's the 2-2. Way outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Boy, he missed by a lot there. You can see Tyler Flowers trying to deke Cespedes by going away, thinking that he might be peeking, and then he shuffles back in, and that ball way up and away.
Swing and a miss to strike him out. Changing speeds to end the inning, so the Tigers settle for 1 run. Sale is upset, but he got a big double play ball. Tigers baseball tonight from Chicago. Well, the Tigers have given Alfredo Simon yet another lead to work with. It is a slim lead, 4-3. And here come the White Sox now in the 5th inning. Adam LaRoche leads it off and looks at ball 1.
Well, Castellanos didn't even have to go to third to take his ground balls. With LaRoche coming up, he's playing over there in the hole at second base with the shift on.
There's Nick at short right field. LaRoche a walk and a fly ball. Simon throws a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, what do we have on Alfredo?
A lot of pitches. 4+ innings. 5 hits, 3 runs. He's kind of kept it to a minimum. It could have been a lot worse than that. But that pitch count of a little concern right now.
These 7 3-ball counts, the main culprit tonight. 1 and 2 the count on Adam LaRoche. Javi Garcia and then Connor Gillespie to follow. LaRoche came in with really good numbers lifetime against Detroit, 383. Here's the 2-2. 3-2 now on LaRoche. We mentioned that he's coming over from the National League. He's DHing pretty much full time here, so that's been an adjustment. Plus, probably seeing new pitchers around the American League has been a bit of an adjustment. Although with interleague play, that's less and less of a big deal now. Here's the 3-2 offering. I know LaRoche recently said that DHing a lot may make him a little bit stronger down the stretch, that he didn't have to go out and play the field every day.
Yeah, that's what veteran players say. Young kids don't say that.
Yeah. That makes total sense. Three and two. Went around.
Let's look at that last pitch again. Slider that was down and in. LaRoche committed too early. He loves the ball down and in. That's kind of his sweet spot. But that one broke out of the zone. He tried to hold up too late. Second strikeout for Alfredo Simon.
That'll bring up Garcia. Alfredo's only other strikeout was Adam Eaton way back in the first inning. And Garcia looks at ball one. Walking a fly ball tonight for Garcia. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Tigers back in 2012 were so impressed with what Garcia could do. They put him on the postseason roster. He had 6 postseason hits back in 2012. He showed early on in his Tigers career that he had the ability to hit the ball back up the middle and into right field. But I think, Jack, as he probably gets older, that pull power will come. He's a big guy. That's outside 3-0.
Yeah, I think scouts will look for a guy that's got gap power the other way and not worry too much about pull power, because if you can hit it that way, you know darn well that adjusting a little bit, you can pull the ball and shoot it down the line.
3 balls, 1 strike on Garcia. Gillespie will be next. Another strike, 3-2. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Tigers. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the White Sox. Simon in search of his first 1-2-3 inning. Hasn't had one of those yet. Get back out of play.
Brought up an interesting point, though, with Garcia added to the roster and doing well at an early age. brings up Delman Young, who was all-world in the postseason a few years ago. He's wearing a different uniform also, currently with Baltimore.
Yeah, Delman had some huge postseason hits for Detroit. Rounded toward third, gobbled up there by Castellanos. 2 up, 2 down. Hey, don't forget to see the Tigers play the Twins on May 12th through the 14th. Get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, and 4 drinks, all for just $76. It's the Tigers Weekday Value Pack. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. What's going on in the Central right now? The Tigers came in a half game back at KC. The Royals 17-9 coming into play. Minnesota 1 game over the 500 mark, 3.5 back. Here's Connor Gillespie. That's it for a strike.
He's playing Cleveland tonight. Minnesota has Oakland.
Gillespie with a homer and a walk. Even 100 now for Alfredo Simon. Whoa, the old Ephus. That was a double Ephus. That barely got to home plate.
That looked like Giovanni Soto the other day.
Oh, man.
All he needed to do was drop to his knee. It would have been the exact same thing.
That's cold. This thing just sailed out of his fingertips. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2-1 the count on Gillespie now.
You know, we need to archive some old baseball video somehow of Ted Williams. I know he's hit home runs off those pitches. Other guys have too, but it was back in an era where pitchers threw that pitch. 30s and 40s.
2-1. Bounced it right back in the mouth. So Alfredo Simon is going to have the first 1-2-3 inning for either pitcher tonight. And it comes here in the 5th, which means we go to the 6th.
Early, getting a few strikeouts. He currently has 5. Getting a little help from home plate umpire in a couple of those. But the Tigers have also had their hitting shoes on, especially Rajay Davis, Victor Martinez, and the big man, Miguel Cabrera, all getting their RBIs. Chris Sale not real happy after that last inning, the 5th inning.
Well, here is J.D. Martinez in the 6th, 4-3 in favor of Detroit. J.D. pounds one back in the seats. Could have been a whole lot worse for Sale in that 5th inning, but he got a big double play ball off the bat of Martinez. Victor, that is. Here are the numbers on Sale. 8 3-ball counts in this game. The 0-1. 0-2 now on JD, who in the ball game is 0 for 1 with a walk. Average now is dipped down to 229 as Martinez tries to stamp an 0 for 19.
Well, there's activity in both bullpens right now. Both starting pitchers, Sale and Simon, are reaching that magical 100 pitch count. Al Albuquerque pitching, throwing down there in the Tiger bullpen. I think it's Jake Petrushka throwing again in the White Sox bullpen.
And missed inside. 2-2 now on JD Martinez. There's Petrushka. And again, Sale runs up another 3-ball count, 3-2. We have had a boatload of those tonight. And he lost it, ball 4. Second walk of the ball game for JD. Sale now has 5 walks with his 5 strikeouts.
Funny game, this game of baseball. Pitchers, starting pitchers get a lot of starts, and they're going to have a few of these. Chris Sale and Alfredo Simon. Kind of fortunate, really. The runs are fairly low considering the fact that they've thrown a lot of pitches, been behind in a lot of counts.
Five walks, ties a career high.
You can see Chris Sale kind of fighting himself again tonight. Very different than the start he had in Detroit against the Tigers.
You mentioned that in his last start he gave up 9 runs, 8 earned. He had 9 runs, the most he had given up in any start in his career. And he was ambushed early in this game when Rajai Davis tripled against him to start the ball game. Then later in the frame, a sac fly by Victor Martinez scored him. Way outside again, 2-0 on Castellanos.
100th pitch for Chris Sale. And I believe if he walks Castellanos, that could be the end of the night for him. James McCann, the right-handed hitter, on deck.
Two and 1. Castellanos strikeout, flyout. 0 for 6 in the series here against the White Sox.
Not a lot of noise from the home crowd tonight. It's been very quiet here. Cool night in Chicago.
Day game tomorrow to wrap up this 10-game road trip for the Tigers. Another big swing by Nick. Level the count now at 2-2. Cleveland is leading KC 5-2. That game in the 6th inning tonight. Tigers trying to jump back into first place in the Central. Yet another full count for Chris Sale. One of those nights. There's McCann waiting on deck. Simon has had 9 3-ball counts. Sale now has had 10 3-ball counts. .101 was the high for pitches thrown in a game, and so Sale has gone above that with 104 here tonight. Swing and a miss. He comes back to strike out Nick. 6 Sale strikeouts.
He just keeps pounding that fastball. That one just got above the hands. See Nick, he sees that, his eyes light up, and yet he's not able to keep his hands on top. And just a little tardy.
Now James McCann with 1 out. Single strikeout for McCann. Although the strike 3 called on him in his last at bat was questionable. It's a broken bat, single to right.
That bat died a hero.
That it did, and McCann now has a 2 for 3 going against Sale.
Found a hole. My good buddy Dave Merkman used to say, look to left, hit it to right.
Well, the Tigers have something going now. That is their 6th hit of this game. That's going to be it for Chris Sale.
106 pitches for Chris Sale. 6 strikeouts, 5 walks. That'll get that pitch count up there.
Or will it? Let's see. Robin Ventura may not take him out here.
Yeah, he did that to Samardzija the other night. Last night's ball game. He came out, asked him if he wanted to try to finish the inning. He's going to let Chris Sale do this again. In his last outing, where Sale really struggled in that 3rd inning, giving up 7 runs, Robin Ventura wouldn't even go out and get him. He did not want to show up his ace, I guess.
Well, he has talked Ventura into staying in this game here with Jose Iglesias coming up. Two on and 1 out. Tigers trying to build on their 4-3 lead. Iglesias fly ball and a ground out. And Iglesias looks at a strike, 0-1. Let's go Tigers chants starting to ring out here at U.S. Cellular Field. The Tigers have a nice contingent as always here at the ballpark. The 0-1. Big spot for Iglesias here, who has hit safely in 14 of his last 18. And he came in 5th in the American League in batting average. Pulls this one on the ground and through. Base hit. Martinez coming to 3rd. They're going to stop him there, and the bases will be loaded for the Tigers.
And that'll be it. Robin Ventura back out there to get Chris Sale. Rajai Davis coming to the plate. He's already got a double and a triple, so leaves the bases loaded. Only 1 out for Detroit.
So Petrichka will be coming in. It's a wall-side windows pitching change as the White Sox go to the bullpen. Sale's night is done. The new pitcher now for Chicago is Jake Petrichka.
Well, you see the numbers this year for Petrichka. He's going to have his hands full with bases loaded and a hot hitter. Rajai Davis already with 2 hits in this ball game.
So here is Davis, and career loaded. Rajai 362.
Got 3 salamis.
Out of 4th. Here are the Tigers runners. We got Martinez, McCann, Iglesias, and only 1 out. Rajay takes strike one. Sale goes 5 1/3 tonight. It's just a matter of how many runs he will give up, because all three guys are his responsibility. Good swing there by Davis. 0-2.
Yeah, with that 5 1/3, 7 hits. He did walk 5, struck out 6.
Double, triple, 2 runs scored tonight for Davis. Conceivably, if the Tigers got all 3 runs in this inning, that would be 7 runs against Sale. One start after he gave up 9 runs. I mean, you're talking about unsale-like numbers. Here's the 1-2. 2-2.
I've been there, Mario. And in fact, it was quite a bit worse than that in 1 year. And Sparky was trying to teach me how to finish off games. I had 13 earnings 1 game, and less than a month later, 12. So
13.
It took pretty much the whole year to get my ERA back under 4.
2-2.
Mama never did tell me about days like that.
Swing and a miss.
You just had to go through it and say, oh. Probably the best lesson I ever heard. Sparky literally told me, I'm not coming to get you.
Really?
I need you to learn how to finish off ball games. And I kind of stunk it up early and stunk it up during the middle of it and stunk it up late. But the one thing I learned is that's embarrassing. And it was a lesson learned. Be more efficient. Make every hitter count.
Again, the 2-2. Shattered bat, look out, roll towards second. There's one. That's all they get, and score another run. JD comes in to score.
At least they picked up a run out of that.
Hopefully everybody's okay on that flying barrel.
Second broken bat of this half inning.
Tigers lead at 5-3. Rajay gets his 6th RBI of the year.
That'll be another earned run for Chris Sale. Martinez coming in to score.
Here's Kinsler. Rajay down there at first base has 6 stolen bases this year. He's been caught only once. Measuring the lead against Petrichka. Draw throw. Tigers 5 runs, 7 hits. White Sox 3 runs, 5 hits. Davis among the leaders in stolen bases this year in the American League. Jacoby Ellsbury, the Yankees, leads with 11. Rajay is in the top 10 with 6 of his own. Up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Look at the pace the Tigers are on in terms of stolen bases. Last year they made a huge jump from 13. And they're even on a better pace this year.
Yeah, and the odds of them getting to 150 probably not realistic, but even if they topped last year, another improvement. That's one thing Brad Ausmus would love to see is stealing some bases. It's just a weapon that every manager would love to have, and that's that speed on the baseballs.
And after the Tigers lost in the World Series in 2012, I think there was more of an emphasis beginning in 2013 and beyond to add a little bit more speed. Chopper to third. Foul ball.
Well, you got a couple guys that are going to plug it up. Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez. You're not going to see too many bags stolen off of them, but it's the other guys, Rajay and Dos and Iglesias.
Even Kinsler. Two and two the count on Ian. Tigers have added one more. They got a run in the fifth, one more here in the sixth. And Petrichka again coming inside. Now he's gone full 3-2. Said that a lot tonight. 3-2 count. And there's ball four. Another walk. Going to reload the bases. Now Petrichka's going to have to be Cabrera.
These are the guys you don't want to be coming up to the plate with bases loaded. See the numbers there for Victor and Miguel.
Pretty gaudy. Sox pitching tonight has walked a total of 6. He has 2 of those against Sale. And he skies this one to the shallow right field. Johnson's going to go back. And that is that. So they get Cabrera and settle for 1 run. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th in Chicago. Inning, and that's going to be it for Alfredo Simon. Tigers have made a pitching change of their own. It's Mr. Albuquerque coming out of the bullpen.
Al making his 11th appearance for Detroit. It's a game where I'm sure Brad would have liked to have stretched Simon out a little bit more, but pitch count climbed early in this game and stayed up there. So he's going to bring in Albuquerque to get a few outs and try to maybe get through a couple innings here.
The wall side windows pitching change for the Tigers. It'll be Alexei Ramirez leading it off. Bottom 3 coming up for the White Sox. Ramirez, Flowers, Johnson. And Alexei showing bunt, pulls it back, ball 1. 5 runs, 7 hits, Detroit. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Chicago White Sox. Way outside. To the backstop it goes, 2-0. Well, Albuquerque has had his struggles this year. The Tigers trying to get him straightened out because when he is good, he's one of those guys that can come out of the bullpen late and get you a strikeout. That's in there.
Well, he's had that wipeout slider, but His velocity's down. I'm sure that is affecting his breaking ball also. The main thing is getting ahead of the hitters, coming in here and falling behind right away.
Bump it in. And now again he falls behind 3-1. Albuquerque last year, important part of the Tigers bullpen, 72 appearances. They'll get back out of play. 3-2 on Alexei Ramirez. Tyler Flowers waiting on deck, and then Micah Johnson. Simon goes 5 in this game, had a 1-2-3-5. That clearly was his easiest inning. Everything else was a fist fight for him tonight. It's flared down the right field line. J.D. Martinez on the run, not going to get there, but foul. Just a couple of feet outside of that white line. Ramirez made a bid for another double. He leads the team in doubles with 7 this year. Balls, 2 strikes. Two teams wrap it up tomorrow. Lobstein facing Quintana. And it's back home to take on the Royals. Drill to left field, base hit. Single for Ramirez. Time for a game break. Back to the studio, Mickey York. The swinging Twins, Jack.
These Chicago White Sox really kind of got their bats going.
It's really coming alive after a really poor series against the Tigers to start the year. Tyler Flowers is 0 for 2, fly out, ground out. Ball 1 missing outside. That was the 6th hit, by the way, for the White Sox tonight. Tigers have more action in their bullpen. Tom Gorzelani beginning to heat up in case Albuquerque continues to have trouble here in the 6th. Runner goes with no throw. Easy stolen base for Alexei Ramirez.
Good pitch to throw on. I believe this was a changeup. Ramirez gets a good lead, and James McCann just not even making an effort to throw it down to second.
Soft line drive caught by Kinsler. Flowers is out. 1 away. Gonna break up Micah Johnson. He's had a nice night. Stolen base, just the 5th of the year for the White Sox. Dead last of the American League. In fact, only Baltimore is the only other team that Baltimore and Minnesota have less than 10. Ball 1. Johnson single double, those 2 at bats against Alfredo Simon. He's also scored a run. Big Ten performer at Indiana University. Two 2-0.
Again, Albuquerque falling behind a hitter. Just the pace of this game with all the balls thrown. And seemingly a lot more time in between pitches, too. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it seems like they're just really being slow in between pitches.
The consensus in the truck and in the booth is it's not just you.
Yeah.
3-0.
If you really want to know who it matters to, just take a look at the outfielders. Every one of them standing straight up with their glove on their leg. And that's what you don't want. You want the guys to be on their toes, ready to make a play, but too many walks in this ball game.
3-1 on Micah Johnson. Top of the order, waiting on deck. Adam Eaton. Tigers right now nursing a 2-run lead, but the White Sox have a man at second and 1 out. Bouncing ball right side. Kinsler comes over to make the play. Underhand toss. Johnson is out. Advance the runner to third. A Saturday Major League Baseball on Fox Sports 1 returns with a doubleheader of divisional rivals, beginning with the Royals and Tigers. Then the Braves square off against the Nationals. Coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on your home for baseball every Saturday. Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. 2 gone. A chance now for Eaton, who has a single in 3 at-bats. Ball 1. Eaton 2 for 7 in the series, single double. In there for a strike. 1-1 on the Sox leadoff man.
Just not an easy one tonight for the Tiger pitchers.
Alfredo Simon struggled with his command. He walked a total of 4 batters in this game before giving way to Albuquerque. High, ball 3.
Maybe the 20th pitch coming from Al.
And now Angel Nesbitt is throwing again in the Detroit bullpen. He was up earlier in the game. 3-1 pitch is way inside, ball 4. Put him at first and third. And here comes Sprad, and he's signaling to the bullpen with the left-handed batting Cabrera. I guess right-handed pitcher.
It's going to be Gorzolani coming in. Tom Gorzolani.
That's going to be it.
Turn Melky Cabrera around to the right side.
So Albuquerque is out of the ball game. Tigers make a pitching change. We'll be back.
Gillespie connects with a ball on the inner half for the first run for Chicago. Then Victor Martinez, he gets his first home run back in the top of the third inning. Miguel Cabrera adds another RBI in the fifth inning. And Rajai Davis, fielder's choice right there, but he has 2 hits and an RBI.
And it's 5-3 right now in favor of the Tigers. Davis with a double and a triple. And Gillespie, his first home run of the season. Orsolani checks in now, facing Melky Cabrera, and he throws a strike. So again, a struggle of an outing for Albuquerque, and he gives away to Orsolani. Orsolani's done some pretty good work out of the bullpen this year for the Tigers. Cabrera sends a ground ball to short, and Iglesias from a flip for the force. Orsolani gets it done. White Sox turned away here in the 6th inning. 7th inning on the way. Tigers lead by 2. This series, and we remind you to follow the Tigers all season long with MLB.com at BAT, the #1 app for live baseball. At BAT is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at BAT for your smartphone or your tablet. We'll see now if the Tigers can build on this 2-run lead. You got Martinez, Cespedes, and then Martinez. Tigers have 7 hits, 6 for the home team. Ball 1 high to Victor, who's had a nice night. Sac fly, drove in a run in the first. Big 2-run homer against Chris Sale in the 3rd.
First at bat tonight that Victor's going to hit from the left side.
And Martinez looks at a strike. 1-1 the count on Victor. A 3 RBI night gives him 12 for the year. The shift is being employed now defensively on Martinez, batting lefty. 1-1 backs him out of there. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here are the updated splits on Victor Martinez.
Huge difference right there. By the end of the year, we'd hope that that would even out, and it has over his career. But right now, hitting left-handers, right-handed a lot better.
3 balls, 1 strike. Trichka came on in the 6th inning to replace Chris Sale. He was charged with 5 more runs in this ball game tonight. Here's the 3-1. Bouncing ball right side to short right field. And Martinez will be thrown out. There's Connor Gillespie to throw him out, so that's a 5-3 rollout. Here's Yoenis Cespedes. Nothing happening tonight for Yoenis. He's 0 for 3. Struck out his last time up. Cespedes rarely, if ever, gets cheated on his swing, does he?
Oh, he takes a healthy hack up there. We saw the movement of that pitch from Petrushka. It's got a lot of sink to it. The hitter almost has to look breaking ball in the way that it moves that much. Putnam, the right-hander, warming up now for the White Sox.
Bouncing ball right side. Johnson going to dive for it. Can he make the play? No, he can't. Cespedes, too much speed, beats it out. Still a heck of a play there by Micah Johnson.
Well, they had him shifted a little bit up the middle right there, and Johnson does a good job to get to that ball flat out. Got up quick and threw it fairly well, but Cespedes getting down the line, sniffing that base hit. When you're taking an 0 for 3, you kind of need that hit, so he's able to get it done.
He motored down the first base line. The Tigers have another hit, their 8th of this ball game. Now J.D. Martinez, who's walked in his last 2 at bats.
Sox pretty much straight away with J.D.
Ball 1 high. Here's the defensive alignment against Martinez. Tigers have a 2-run lead here in the 7th. They have 1 on, 1 out. Now the 1-0. 2-0. Petrushka is 26 years old. He hails from Minnesota. 2nd round pick in 2010. Got to the big leagues in 2013. A nice year out of their bullpen last year. ERA sub 3. That's going to get away from Flowers to the backstop, move the runner up.
Yeah, Petrushka, a guy they thought maybe would become a closer at one point. He had a couple opportunities to close games. And now with David Robertson coming over, signing that multi-year contract from the Yankees, he'll be used more in that setup role, or kind of a in-between role, I guess.
Yeah, Petrushka last year, 14 saves. It's taken on 3-0. It's 3-1. They're ruling that a stolen base.
Wow. Generous.
How's that possible? Is he going? Three 3-1 pitch. And there's another walk. So JD has walked 3 times tonight. And the base on balls are piling up. Don Cooper now making a stroll out to the mound. One-time pitching coach here in Chicago. Consecutively since 2002 here with the White Sox. I'm not sure crisp would be a word to describe the activities here tonight.
A little different than that.
Like maybe the opposite.
I think this is a tough game for pitching coaches. Don Cooper out there. He saw his ace, Chris Sale, struggle. 5 walks. Petrushka's thrown 2 base on balls. Pitch counts climbed early. A lot of 3-2 counts. But from the Tigers' standpoint, a lot of time in between pitches from both Simon and Albuquerque. And that's what makes a game closing in on 3 hours here in the top of the 7th inning.
The White Sox pitching tonight has had 7 walks. That'll slow you down a bit. Here's Castellanos with 2 men on, 1 out. And Nick looks at a strike, 0-1. All right, now they're calling it a wild pitch and not a stolen base.
Somebody in the press box got to him and realized, hey, yeah, I wasn't really paying attention.
Well, ball got by the catcher, runner moves up. That's a wild pitch.
Usually, I mean, most of the time.
So, I don't know, for maybe 2 minutes, Cespedes had his first stolen base of the year, but now it's taken away from him. He's the runner at second. And Martinez at first. Castellanos trying to extend the Tigers' lead here. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Nick has struck out twice tonight. He's 0 for 3. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Castellanos. James McCann will be next. He's had a couple of hits tonight. And 3 at bats against Chris Sale. 2-2. He fought it off and sends it back in the seats. 18,268 your attendance figure here tonight.
I'm not sure that's actual fannies in the seats.
Took the words out of my mouth. Paid attendance, to be clear. Two and 2 on Castellanos. Swing and a miss, and Nick goes down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight. 2 away. And now James McCann. 2 singles against Chris Sale. McCann's average up to 289 in his rookie season. Good chance he'll play tomorrow as well because they're throwing another lefty, Quintana.
That's not such a bad thing. It gives Alex Avila a couple days.
Well, and especially since McCann has shown that he can handle it at this level.
More importantly, the Tigers just need to find a way to hang on here. 2-run lead, top of the 7th inning. They win today, chance to win the series tomorrow and come home with a very good road trip.
Here's the 1-0. In there, 1 ball, 1 strike on McCann. Where did that one land?
Well, I had a theory, Mario, that as long as I'm throwing it towards home, call it a strike.
It's
Let's
strike.
move it along. If I'm throwing it to first base, you don't have to call it a strike.
1-1. Not sure the umpires would agree with that theory, but thanks for presenting it nonetheless.
We're taking a look at home plate umpire Jim Reynolds. He has had a very generous strike zone tonight, and yet this game still is at a turtle's pace. So,
yeah, and that's
it's a case where the pitchers have really struggled with their command, and sometimes I think an umpire will open up the zone just to try to keep the pace of game moving a little bit. Hitters don't like it.
The count stays on McCann. By the way, why are you picking on turtles? Could have said molasses.
I'm not picking on turtles.
Elephants.
I'm picking on turtles. They just don't move that fast, do they? Last I saw.
They don't, but neither do elephants. Pick on elephants.
Okay. Game's moving right along the speed of an elephant. Doesn't sound right.
No, you're right. Let's stick with turtle. Petrichka ready with the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So McCann is out of there. Petrichka pitching out of a jam here in the 7th. Stretch time in Chicago. Tigers by 2. 3 home runs, 5 RBIs in his game. Jock Peterson, 2 more home runs tonight for the Dodgers. Each of his last 7 hits have been homers. That's incredible. And Carlos Perez last night, walk-off home run, his big league debut. Miguel Cabrera was the last to accomplish that as a Marlin. So, of course, Lonnie goes back.
7 home runs and 7 at-bats?
No. 7, his last 7 hits.
7 hits, I get it. Okay.
I think it's over 9 games. Jose Abreu leads it off. That would have really been something.
Yeah.
Abreu looks at a strike in the inside part of the plate, 1-1. LaRoche and then Avi Garcia in the 7th inning. Tigers 5 runs, 8 hits, and the White Sox 3 runs, 6 hits. 2-1. Solani had to come on to bail out Albuquerque in the 6th inning. He got a ground ball to end that frame. Al had given up a single, a steal, a walk. Here's the 2-1. More action in the Tigers' pen.
Has been throwing again. He's had a lot of heaves down there in the bullpen tonight. It's hard for a pitcher to get up and sit down and get up and sit down. A lot of managers take that in consideration. But an important game for the Tigers to try to figure out a way to stay on top of this one.
And the way Nesbitt has been pitching, and he was up earlier in the game. I think this is the third time he's been up. But he might be a guy, Jack, that the Tigers are more and more beginning to entrust in the later innings.
Well, everybody seems to be looking for the guy. We got a closer, and Soria's been that guy for the Tigers.
High, towering fly ball left center, not deep.
They're both calling for it.
Yeah, Rajay, the center fielder, will take it. 1 away. Well, we brought it up back in 2003. Miguel Cabrera's walk-off home run.
That's not Miggy.
No, it's
Come
not.
on, that's half a Miggy.
Well, there's the smile, so we know it is.
Yep. We can't tell by that picture.
And now, years later, 396 home runs for the big guy. There's a strike called on LaRoche. Here's the list. Cabrera chasing Beltre and chasing Al Kaline as well. Andres Galarraga, 399, fellow Venezuelan.
He should get all those guys this summer. He could do it in a week.
He could. 0 for 2 for LaRoche plus a walk. He's batting .3, making 200 on the season with 3 homers. Off the mask of the catcher. 1-2. Simon started this game, went 5 innings, gave up a total of 3 runs, including the home run. And then in the 6th, Albuquerque came on. Now Gorzelani. The 1-2. Surprised, I've got to admit, Jack, that I'm really kind of baffled about the difficulties this White Sox offense has had scoring runs this year. I mean, it's really a pretty good lineup when you look at it based on what Eaton did last year. Cabrera, Abreu, LaRoche, Garcia. For the most part, accomplished major league hitters.
I really believe there is something to acquiring a lot of new faces. For the first time playing together, I think guys tend to press early. You know, you just want to impress so many people. The fans, number one, your teammates, management, and you can't press. If you press, not much good happens.
Loop single to center field for Adam LaRoche. 1 on, 1 out for the White Sox. That'll bring the tying run to the plate. It's also going to bring out Brad Ausmus. With Garcia due up, it looks like Nesbitt's finally going to get in the ballgame. Angel
wants to go to the right-hander here.
And that's going to be it for Gorzelon. Another pitching change here. Bottom of the 7th. In a 5-3 game, we'll be back. Brad Ausmus deciding to start Rajai Davis in center field tonight, and he's come through.
Rajai started all early. A triple to lead off the game. He scores on a RBI early, and then a sac fly, and then he gets a double. Miguel Cabrera sends him home. Rajai had a bad night hero, stays out of a double play, gets another RBI. So good night offensively for Rajai Davis. Center fielder tonight for the Tigers.
And now it's Garcia facing Nesbitt. He comes on here in the 7th inning. Garcia takes ball 1 high. The numbers on Angel Nesbitt.
10th appearance. A very good 2.7 ERA. And a good strikeout to walk ratio. 9 punch outs for every walk. So that's very good.
Garcia is 0 for 2 with the base on balls. 1-0 is in for a strike. Mid-90s fastball featured by Angel Nesbitt. Had himself a really good spring this year. Opened up a lot of eyes, so much so that as spring camp continued to roll on, he became more and more of a favorite to win a spot in the bullpen.
We talked last night how he loves to sing the national anthem. I forgot about that. I was supposed to go down and ask him about that.
Yeah, he's learning the national anthem so he can sing along before every ball game. Which I think is a neat way of showing respect for the country he's pitching in now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Garcia backing out of the box. Apparently doing so in protest.
It's been a strike all night. Ball up. Healthy swing right there.
Nesbitt is only 24 years old. Tigers signed him as a free agent back in 2009. Last year splitting time between Lakeland and Erie, and between the 2 spots he recorded 20 saves as a closer in the minor leagues out of Maracay, Venezuela. Swing and a miss. Dusting Garcia out of there. 2 gone.
Comes in and gets the job done. first out, throws strikes, gets the strikeout.
So McCann goes out to the mound. Chat about Gillespie here, who stands in. Gillespie has a home run in this ball game. It was his first of the year. It came against Simon back in the second. Bouncing ball right at the first baseman Cabrera. He'll tag the bag for the out. Nesbitt, nice job. Comes in, gets a strikeout and a ground out. Let's go to the 8th. Chicago 3-run, 7 hits back at U.S. Cellular Field for game 2 in this series. And a new pitcher now for Chicago, Zach Putnam out of the University of Michigan will take over. Putnam is also out of high school in Ann Arbor at Pioneer High School, graduated there in 2005.
Think he was a Tiger fan?
I'm sure he was. He better have been. Right now he's a White Sox fan. Jose Iglesias will lead things off. It'll be Iglesias, Davis, and then Kinsler. 1 for 3 tonight for Jose. Single, ground out, fly out. Tigers up by 2 as we go to the 8th. Iglesias looks at ball 1 inside. 9, 1, and 2 in the Detroit lineup here in the top of the 8th. Two and 0.
Yet another pitcher coming in, getting behind in the counts. Maybe it's the groundkeeper's fault. Maybe we should talk to him, see if the angle of the mound is off a little today. You know.
2 and 0. Did you ever blame the grounds crew after a rough outing?
Well, I blamed a manager who had a lot to do with what the grounds crew did in Cleveland. I got to remember who it was, but they wetted the infield down so bad it was just like a sponge. And then they proceeded to bunt the first 2 or 3 guys. That didn't work out too well for them because somebody got hurt.
Well, the 2 teams here tonight have combined for 12 walks, 3 wild pitches, and 25 3-ball counts tonight. Here's the 2-2. Oh, Iglesias drilled, and he will take first base. Oakland leadoff man is on.
Ball just sailed right out of his fingers. You could see how it just slipped out of there. Iglesias got that elbow pad on. I think that's where it got him. It might got him a little bit higher than that. Yeah, that elbow pad goes up around that tricep.
So now here is Davis. Tigers have some speed at first base, speed at the plate. Iglesias capable of running without question. 5 stolen bases this year. 5 out of 6 for Jose.
I don't think Brad's going to send him though with that groin injury in Kansas City. Another cool night here. Probably doesn't want him to exert himself on the base pass.
Instead is bunted but foul by Davis.
And I'm not sure that was a set play either. Rajay will bunt on his own. And not a bad thought. You can move that runner over and pick up another run.
Rajay a long looked at Dave Clark down in the coaching box at third. He's running through the signs. I think Davis wants him to go through it again.
He does. That's why he's waited and waited.
Another throw back in there is Iglesias. Tigers able to break a tie with 1 in the 5th inning, 1 in the 6th inning. They're up 5-3. It's been that way since. Victor tonight with 3 RBIs. The 0-1. Again, he shows bunt. This time lays it down. It's going to advance the runner.
That's a good job right there of bunting. Playing small ball, but it gets the job done now. You got Jose Iglesias in scoring position.
Sacrifice advancing the runner. And Kinsler strolls in. He's had a couple of walks in this ball game, 1 for 2 otherwise. See if the Tigers can make Putnam pay for the hit batter to start this inning. Kinsler has knocked in 12. Knocked in a run last night. Chicago tonight is 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Tigers at 3 out of 10. And another chance here. Checked it. Ball 1. Kinsler went through the entire month of April without a home run. Still looking for that first round tripper. That's in for a strike. 1-1 on Kinsler.
Another thought, another crazy idea. If there's bases empty and a guy hits a home run, isn't that a runner in scoring position? If you get a home run, you're in scoring position.
No, I think technically you have to be out at second base, Jack.
I know, but I'm just thinking out of the box.
Well, now,
here.
if you're going to say Cabrera's always in scoring position, I can buy that.
I'm just saying with nobody on. There's nobody in front of you.
Not buying.
Okay. And neither is anybody else,
no.
but just trying to keep it going here, Mario.
I appreciate the conversation piece. I really do. As bizarre as it might sound. Here's the 2-1. It's low, now it's 3-1. Let's go Tigers chance. Starting to crank up again. Being grounded out by boos now.
Well, they announced 18,000 plus here. I'm just going to take a crazy guess because that's what I'm good at right now. I'm somewhere around 10, maybe. And they're getting vocal.
They are. And there is ball 4, so the Tigers now have 2 men on and only 1 out. Well, Chevrolet brings you the high strike steal. Remember this? Walk-off win courtesy of Jose Iglesias on April 17th against the White Sox. They jumped for joy back at Comerica Park. Tigers stole one that day. So here's Cabrera now. Two on and 1 out. Strike 1 on Miggy. Come on, Miggy, find the gap here and score a couple of runs.
Miguel just 1 hit in this series so far. He's walked 3 times. Once here tonight. Twice here tonight. Excuse me, 4 times he's walked.
Got an RBI single in his 3rd at bat tonight, and he takes a ball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cabrera now has 20 RBIs. Still well shy of the league leader in runs driven in. Nelson Cruz had 26 coming in. And Miggy now in the top 10. Here's the 1-1. Swing and miss. 1-2 on Miguel Cabrera.
Just don't want to miss those opportunities to pick up runs. Tigers still leading by 2 in this game, but getting late.
Here's the 1-2. Swing, miss, and Cabrera goes down on strikes. 2 outs. Well, we have a chance now. Let's check in with Justin White.
Hey, Mario, I know you remember this. Last year, the White Sox were selling a 3-pound ice cream sundae, which came in an actual batting helmet.
I do.
Well, I tried to eat it.
I remember.
Unsuccessful.
I remember.
However, tomorrow comes a chance for redemption, but not with ice cream, with ribs. Yes, they are selling a full-size batting helmet with a rack of ribs, fries, coleslaw, and cornbread. I'm going to try to eat this thing tomorrow, starting on Tigers Live pregame. Wish me luck.
Now, how are you going to keep that sinewy physique?
Look, I already started fasting.
Okay.
I'm not going to eat anything until the pregame show starts tomorrow. There you go.
For the rest of your life. All right.
Probably not.
We look forward to it, J-Dub. All right. Well, it's giving us something to look forward to tomorrow. I can't wait to see that. The ice cream is one thing, but now you're dipping into ribs and coleslaw.
Then you got to wear a bib.
It's a strike called on Victor Martinez. Just one more reason to watch Tigers Live pregame tomorrow. No balls, 1 strike on Martinez. By the way, 9 walks tonight for a Chicago pitcher. That's hit the other way and almost hit Iglesias into left field. Jose coming around to score. And Victor Martinez with an RBI single to make it a 3-run game.
Well, Iglesias is limping into home plate there. I hope everything's fine with him. But maybe by having to leap out of the way, he might have retweaked that groin. Let's take a look at it here. He has to jump out of the way. Ball almost hits him. Somehow it gets by him. As he rounds third base, he starts just taking it easy coming in. Another RBI for Victor.
Yeah, that's a great sign for Victor Martinez. A 4 RBI game. More importantly, the Tigers lead 6-3, and hopefully Iglesias didn't re-aggravate that groin. Here's Cespedes now with runners at first and third. Strike 1 on Yoenis.
When we talk about leadoff walks and how they come back to haunt you, how about a leadoff hit by pitch? Same thing.
Yep. Who's hurting too? Here's the 0-1. Looked like it went, and he did.
And you go back to Rajay Davis's at bat where he bunted him over to second base, gets a sack. And then a hit from Victor, doing the job for the Tigers here in the top half of the 8th inning.
So Martinez now with 4 RBIs has 13 for the year. Here's the 0-2. Swing. Cespedes is up, and the Tigers get an insurance run. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's now a 3-run lead. Summary, Victor Martinez, big night. Good to see him break out a little bit. He's homered in this game and has 4 runs driven in. Chris Sale went 5 in the 3rd, allowing 7 hits, 5 earned runs, and 5 base on balls. He also walked 6.
Good night for Victor. Not such a good night for Chris Sale, who stands to be the pitcher of record if Chicago should lose.
Let's say Sale struck out since, obviously. Jabba Chamberlain coming in now as he will pitch the 8th inning. He's going to pitch against the bottom of the lineup for the White Sox. It'll be Ramirez, Flowers, and Micah Johnson. Nesbitt did a nice job. He came on to get the final 2 outs in the 7th inning. Now a 3-run lead for Detroit. Jabba goes to work and throws strike 1. Alexi 1 for 3 in this game. 202 batting average on the year. Ground to the shortstop, sharply hit right at Iglesias. Off the bag, but out number 1.
How about that? 2 pitches and an out. Kind of like that.
I didn't see with my own eyes. I wouldn't have believed it. Joppa Company throwing strikes, 1 gone. Here's Tyler Flowers. Tigers bullpen this year has an ERA of 3.73. Entering play tonight. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Flowers fly out, ground out, line out. Get back out of play. 0-2. Tigers' pen so far has gone 2 1/3 scoreless in relief of Alfredo Simon, who departed after 5 innings. And in 5, he gave up the 3 runs. Had a 1-2-3-5 did Simon before leaving this game.
The bullpen did a very nice job in last night's game, picking up Shane Green. Just Tigers couldn't put any runs back on the board.
Wilson did good work last night. Hardy also good work. Nesbitt good work. Micah Johnson waiting on deck. Bottom of the 8th, 6-3 Detroit. Two and 2 on Flowers. Chamberlain ready with the 2-2. Full count, 3-2. Has allowed just 1 run in his last 7 innings. Tigers signed him late in the offseason in late February.
Yeah, there's a 3-run lead here. You just need to attack the strike zone. Make him hit the ball. Not put free passes on.
Popped him up.
Good job.
Shallow right field for Ian Kinsler. Goes back to the grass, and there are 2 gone. Fans, join us again tomorrow. The Tigers wrapping up their series with Chicago. Our coverage begins at 1 p.m. with Tigers Live. Tigers White Sox tomorrow at 1 p.m. You'll see it right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Got some Upers in the house.
Gotta like that.
Absolutely. Came a long way.
You gotta wonder if they came down the Michigan side or the Wisconsin side.
I'm guessing Wisconsin. Don't ask me. Here's Micah Johnson.
Not if they're from Sault Ste. Marie.
Ball 1 to Johnson. By the way, since April 27th, the Tigers bullpen 1.64 ERA. So, you know, that was a little bit of a concern for a lot of Tigers fans coming into the season. Of course, Joaquin Soria has really helped to.
I was going to say at the back end is really where the biggest concern is. And games that you need to close out, and Soria has been outstanding so far for Detroit this year.
1 ball, 1 strike on Micah Johnson. Single double in this game. He'll line that one to left field again. It's going to be fair. That's his 3rd hit. Johnson wide turn. Wisely goes back.
Another good job by Cespedes to get over to that ball. Another strong throw.
Johnson's hits have gone the other way.
Take a look at it here. Ball kind of just finding a spot down there, but Cespedes gets over, and then a strong throw to second base. And Johnson rounds it like he has an idea, and then just decides to hold up after a good strong throw.
Now Adam Eaton. Eaton on base a couple of times, single and a walk. He's got the average now up to an even 200. They need 1 more base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. Strike call. Melky Cabrera due next. Chamberlain got the first 2 batters in the inning, and now the single by Johnson. Slaps one off the glove of the third baseman Castellanos. into short left field, and now the White Sox have life. He's thrilled a base hit for Eaton, his second hit of the game.
I'm sure that's a ball that Nick would like to have another pop at. I don't know what happened there. It looked like it went right through the webbing of his glove. It was hit hard, but
right at him.
Yeah. At the end of the hit, Adam Eaton on first with the base hit.
9 hits for both teams in this game. So Chamberlain now suddenly has a situation to deal with. Melky Cabrera will stand in as the tying run.
Well, you mentioned, Mario, the heart of the White Sox lineup coming up now. Cabrera with Abreu on deck.
And tonight, Cabrera has an RBI. He's walked. So has a sacrifice fly. Fooled him as Melky was bailing out of there. 0-1.
That's another high strike called.
Here's the 0-1. Some splits on Cabrera. 359 against right-handed pitching. 074 against lefties. McCann smothers it. Now the count 2-1 on Melky Cabrera.
Job of being a little more careful here with Melky Cabrera at the plate. Falling behind in the count.
Problem with being careful is you got Abreu waiting on deck.
Pick your poison.
And the 2-1. Driven deep to right field. Martinez going back. He looks up, and the White Sox have just tied the ball game. First home run of the year for Melky Cabrera. Believe that. Two-out, 3-run shot, 6-6 game.
Well, I think it was a slider that was left down and over the plate. Melky Cabrera, he's been a good hitter in his career. There it is, that washing machine slider just doesn't break hardly at all. Belt high. And with one swing, tie ball game.
And that is the second White Sox hitter tonight that has picked up his first home run of the season. Connor Gillespie did it back in the second, and Cabrera now with a big 3-run shot in the 8th inning to make it a 6-6 ball game. There's a strike call. This on the heels of the White Sox going 9 straight games without a homer. The longest stretch in a long, long time. Here's the 0-1. Here's a drive to left, base hit. Jose Abreu has put the go-ahead run aboard now. That is his second hit. Well, what a turn of events here.
Yeah.
It looked like Java was cruising along. He got the first 2 batters, but then gave up the 2-out single to the number 9 hitter.
And his pitch count at 20 because of those hits. 4 straight hits for the White Sox. No activity at this point anyway. Now there is.
So here is Jeff Jones coming out. Lane Hardy is warming up. We mentioned he threw a nice inning in the ball game last night. He's up now throwing in the Detroit bullpen. Says it all. 6-6 game. Runner at first. 2 outs, and Adam LaRoche. Suddenly this crowd has some life here tonight in Chicago. Low and in. 1 ball, no strikes. That ball bounced in.
White Sox closer David Robertson's been throwing in the White Sox bullpen, so they want him ready. And he might get the 9th even if they don't go ahead. You're seeing more of that in the game now, where a manager will bring in the closer in a tie ball game instead of waiting for his team to take the lead.
Meanwhile, LaRoche has gone up in the count 2-0. Single and a walk tonight for their DH. Outside, and the count goes to 3-0. Cabrera's home run was the White Sox first hit with a man in scoring position all night. And it comes in stunning fashion here in the bottom of the 8th. Swinging on 3-0.
Yes, he was. And he loves the ball in. I don't know if you can get it in far enough on that Adam LaRoche.
Garcia waiting on deck. Single homer to tie this game. Abreu has singled. He's the go-ahead run. Driven to right center field. That's a base hit. Abreu hits the back at second, going to third. LaRoche has a single, and now the White Sox have the go-ahead run at third base. 5 consecutive hits for Chicago. Bring up Garcia.
Well, now you got to be aware of a pass ball, a wild pitch, score the go-ahead run.
All of a sudden, 12 hits on the board now for Chicago. Garcia has a walk to his credit. That's it tonight. Swing and a miss. One on Avisail Garcia. That's 296 against righties. Does a lot of damage versus lefties. The 0-1. 0-2 on Garcia.
He's taking a healthy swing there. He needs to shorten up. Trying to be the hero.
The 8th man to bat in this inning for Chicago. Good block there by McCann.
I got to believe that Java's going to stick with that breaking ball and hope that he can get Avi to swing out of the zone. But you're right, James McCann's got to get out there and make sure he blocks the ball. There it is.
Got a piece up to stay alive. The 30th pitch of this inning for Java Chamberlain, who retired the first 2 batters. They got Ramirez, then a ground out, Flowers, then a pop up, and then the single by the number 9 hitter Micah Johnson. That got the rally started. The big blow, the home run by Melky Cabrera. Fouled away. Simon went 5. Albuquerque came on. So did Gorsolani and Nesbitt. Jabba began things here in the 8th. One and 2 on Avi Garcia. Abreu at third. Roche at first. Missed it high, 2 and 2.
Went back to the breaking ball, overthrew it, rushed a little bit. The ball squirted out, stayed up. Kind of caught a break that it stayed way up. He wants to get him out with the breaking ball. You can see that. He's going back to it again.
Drill to center field on a base hit. Abreu scores. LaRoche going to third. And the White Sox have scored 4 in the 8th to take the lead. Garcia was behind in the count 0-2, and he delivers. That's going to be it for Chamberlain. And it's 6 straight hits for the White Sox.
Back to that breaking ball. He'd thrown almost every pitch that at bat.
Chamberlain is done. 7-6 Chicago. Will be back. It is a 4-run 8th inning for Chicago. They've grabbed a 7-6 lead, and Blaine Hardy coming out of the bullpen now to face the pinch hitter Gordon Beckham. And Beckham looks at ball 1 low. White Sox still have runners at first and third as you scope out the numbers on Hardy. Six consecutive hits for Chicago. Beckham hitting for Gillespie, who had homered earlier in the game. .292 batting average this season with 1 home run. Now it's the White Sox looking for an insurance run. Two balls, no strikes. White Sox coming into this inning were 1 for 12 with men on base, but that changed dramatically. Meanwhile, the Tigers in the 9th inning will have Martinez, Castellanos, and McCann do it. Right now, it's just a matter of what the score will be.
And they'll be facing David Robertson.
In the air to center field, and Rajay Davis makes the play to end the inning. However, one big blast in this inning to tie it up, and that was Melky Cabrera. 3-run shot. That tied it at 6. And the White Sox got another. We go to the 9th. Now as we go to the top of the ninth inning, David Robertson is checked in, the closer for Chicago, trying to nail this one shut.
Well, he'll have a chance to pick up a save. He's 4 for 4. Not a lot of opportunities as the newest closer for the White Sox. See the new third baseman, Gordon Beckham. He'll take over for Connor Gillespie.
Well, here we go. The Tigers down by a run. J.D. Martinez, Nick Castellanos, James McCann due up. First pitch is in for a strike. On the Tigers bench, you got Avila, Ghost, Romine, and Perez. J.D. in the ballgame has walked 3 times, a strikeout his first time up. Here's the 0-1. They get 0-2 now on Martinez. 7 runs, 13 hits for the Sox. The Tigers have 6 runs, 9 hits. Robertson ready with the 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tigers got that insurance run in the 8th inning. Go up 6-3, was looking pretty good, and then Java came on, got 2 outs. In the bottom of the 8th, then the roof fell in. 6 consecutive hits for Chicago. One of them the 3-run homer by Melky Cabrera. And he got it straight through. Martinez caught looking. 1 gone here in the ninth. And we'll bring up Nick Castellanos.
The Tigers certainly had their opportunities. 11 men left on.
So Castellanos has struck out 3 times tonight. He's 0 for 4, and he looks at a strike 0-1. Don't forget that line drive that Adam Eaton hit to Castellanos off his glove. That would have been out number 3. That turned out to be a big play, and then the very next batter, Cabrera, hit the homer. Here's the 0-1. Swing and miss. 0-2 on Castellanos. Here's Robertson's 0-2. Line drive, base hit, right field. Tying run on for the Tigers. Castellanos comes up with an 0-2 hit.
Yeah, good at bat for Nick. He's had a tough night at the plate with 3 strikeouts, but was able to inside out that pitch and flare it over Micah Johnson's head for a base hit. Now they're going to pinch run for him.
Romine coming out of pinch run. So he represents the tying run here in the 9th. We'll bring up James McCann. One on, 1 out. We're in the 9th inning of a 1-run game. McCann's had a couple of hits tonight. Robertson will keep Romine close. Robertson in the ballgame last night earned his 4th save of the season. And has gone 10 consecutive scoreless innings. See if the Tigers can put an end to that. McCann looks at ball 1. His 2 hits tonight, both singles, 1 in the 2nd and 1 in the 6th, and both against the long since departed starter Chris Sale. Line drive, base hit, right field. McCann has his 3rd hit. Romine is on his way to 3rd. Garcia's throw is cut off, and McCann is out at first. Oh, he took the wide turn and paid for it.
Well, that was a heads-up play by the shortstop Alexi Ramirez, but just kind of a bonehead play, and it's one that James McCann's going to regret. He knows what happened there. You overrun the bag. You've got to stay put, give everybody a chance to keep the wheel moving.
9-6-3 on the put out of McCann. So the tying runs at third with 2 outs. And here is Iglesias. Tigers need a 2-out hit. Ball 1 to Iglesias.
He's a good man to have at the plate right now because of his ability to put the ball in play, contact hitter.
Down base twice in this game, single hit by a pitch. Soft one-hopper hit towards second. Should be the ball game, and it is. The White Sox survived the 9th after scoring 4 in the bottom of the 8th. And they have won the first 2 games in this series. Stunning comeback fashion tonight, 7-6 your final score. They celebrate on the south side of Chicago. Tough one for the Tigers to deal with tonight. Melky Cabrera's big hit tied it up. Sox go on to win. We'll be back.